I'm so glad that wasn't live.
Oh, for sure.
As soon as I hit live, it said this broadcast is not going to be recorded because you're out of storage. And I asked Mr. Brown, who's probably listening, to delete his old videos when he uses this. So, Mr. Brown, go into StreamYard while you're listening to this and delete all of the old videos because you're taking up all my storage space.
Delete yourself.
Delete.
Oh.
No,
Whoa.
I didn't say that, but
in Minecraft.
In Minecraft. It's fine. Do you actually? I don't use the record feature on this thing anyway. You just download it from YouTube once it's done.
Yeah, it's true. But it's the principle that matter. It's the principle. Hi everybody. Welcome to BSUP episode 19. And if you didn't catch 18 live last week and are wondering where the hell it is, we are launching, finally, upon popular demand and for our own sanity, a BSUP specific channel. It'll be exclusively where all of the BSUP episodes are held. And we're going to launch it, probably officially tomorrow. I started uploading old episodes today already.
My internet is shit. It will take probably the rest of the week. But we'll see what happens.
But it will be launched, and it'll launch with, I assume, then this episode upon the re-up, as well as the 100K spectacular with Mahler, Drinker, and the entire gang that we had. So if anyone's missing that one, it'll be up, I swear. We'll post the links to our community boards and tweet it out and all the jazz, so people have the links to it. But
it is one of those ideas that is so obviously right and good and simple that it makes you think, why the fuck didn't we do that just straight away?
I remember us discussing it.
Yeah.
We ran around in circles about why we shouldn't do this.
But then again, this podcast didn't have a name until episode 6. So I suppose a well-organized podcast, this is not.
Well, we're getting there slowly but surely. It'll have its own dedicated channel. As everyone knows, this is my wonderful cartoon host, Little Platoon. We have the Mega Geek. Welcome back, sir. It's been a while since you've been on BSUP. And channel regulars, Uninspired Reviewer. Welcome, sir.
Hey. Thank you, man.
Vex Electronica, the kind of unofficial third co-host. And everyone's favorite, actually, Andrew.
Yes. I'm the favorite.
Channel favorite, actually, Andrew.
I definitely don't tank the viewers when I just show up and don't say anything.
It's always fun when we get together the 2 hours, not 2 hours, maybe 12 hours before the stream and discuss what are we going to discuss on the show? The first thing that I wanted to bring up was, it's not like major pop culture news, but it is floating around, is the fan film that finally came out that is surrounded in controversy, Spider-Man Lotus. And 5 out of 6 of us at least have watched a little bit of it. If anyone in the chat doesn't know, this film is surrounded by controversy. For a multitude of reasons, but the primary one that I found when I was looking it up was about the director, or initially the lead actor and then the director, being caught with tweets that they made when they were younger saying not so nice things. So they're being held to that standard. But Andrew informed me of additional controversies.
Well, I think a couple of just on the tweet point, weren't most of those private messages that were leaked by former school friends? And so we're talking about when these guys were 15, 16 in private DMs with each other, someone decided, hey, these guys seem to be being quite successful, so how about we leak them to the news? And lo and behold. So it's not. I don't know unless Andrew has a more spicy version of the controversy. That strikes me as vengeance.
That's whatever. The guy said the N-word in middle school.
Basically,
all right.
Yeah, and some homophobic slurs or something when and we're talking about when they're teenagers. But you were before we went live.
I used homophobic slurs as a teenager all the time. I still do. It's fun.
Right, right.
You can get away with it. The only time anyone else can do it is when they're playing Call of Duty. Andrew, what were the other things you were telling me about, though? Can you elaborate on that?
So there's a lot more the production and post-production for this movie was just chaos and hell. A lot of not paying artists from the director, and like the guy raised $100K for this, over $100K. So it's like, why aren't you paying the artists? Some background stuff with the fight choreographer and the actor for Goblin, with I'm not gonna say it on stream, but not so good things happening with them, that I'm pretty sure that the police are gonna get involved. And
write that in the private chat. I want to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, can you write that in the private
Yeah,
chat?
I
I'm
want
very
to know what it
curious
is.
now.
That's spicy. But let's go around and for those that do know,
just looking
that's
at bits
even
of
more
it
fun
now. Actually, just looking at bits of it now.
Fun. Let's go around counterclockwise and just get everyone's opinion that has seen it or seen some of it. Platoon, if you want to start, sir.
Oh goodness, do I? Well, I haven't finished it. I'm about an hour in, maybe 55 minutes, and that was with me spamming the skip 10-second button frequently. Because normally I wouldn't do this because I like watching films quite closely. It's just the problem with this film. There are some good things about it, which I'll come on to, but the major problem with the film, at least the bit of it I've watched so far, is there's nothing in it. It's all padding and angsty baggage. It's not so much trying to like nail pathos to the wall as nail pathos against the wall. It's really quite extreme, like to the extent of long sort of sepia tinted flashbacks with Sigur Rós playing in the background, kind of angst and pathos. And it's just the same scene basically repeated for the first 40 minutes. So the premise, for anyone who's unfamiliar, and assuming I'm actually familiar with it, which I'm not sure that I am, but it's it's not even linear. So how do you do this? Basically, it kicks off. They're all nice and happy and they're friends. And it's Peter, it's Mary Jane, it's Gwen Stacy, it's whatever the hell the other guy's name is. I don't remember. And they're all fine. But Gwen's going to die. She's going to die off screen. That's going to happen like while the title slate is playing. And the rest of the film is basically Peter Parker trying to pick up the pieces of his life. He tries to shirk the label of Spider-Man because he believes it got everybody killed. And then something happens which makes him sort of take up the mantle again. But it's all about, like, is he going to do it or isn't he? Is Spider-Man responsible? Is he responsible? How does he deal with this tragedy that he believes that he's caused? Which is fine. As a premise, I don't mind that. The problem is that for 40 minutes, it's just successions of scenes where he angstily shouts at people about the same things. Like, oh, you never really cared about her. No, you never really cared about her. Well, you're just in it for yourself. No, you're just in it for yourself. Like, and it just goes on and on and on and on and on. And it was, I got to the point where it's like, I know what's happening here. It took me 5 minutes to understand what the point of this scene was. It will take the scene about 5 minutes to get off of itself. So yeah, skip the fast forward button, which is a problem, I think. Pacing all the way through is just bizarre in this, to the extent that it's almost non-existent. There are some good things to be said for it, though. Quite often, it doesn't look too much like a fan film. I think some of the directorial choices are really interesting. I think the way they've used the budget to avoid too much use, at least in the hour I've seen of the CGI elements, was quite clever. And there's some very bizarre creative choices, which I'm not sure if I like the sort of very Shakespearean black and white flashbacks to Gwen Stacy's ghost type stuff. That's odd. I don't know if I like it or not, but at least it's interesting. But yeah, it's all really dragged down by the fact that it's unbelievably angsty and it feels interminable.
Wow.
Yep. So that doesn't encourage you to watch it, Mega.
No, it doesn't. I mean, looking at the clips, I haven't seen it at all. I've seen watching it just now as Little Platoon was speaking. It looks very amateurish, actually, with the amount of money that they had. Right, they could have done better photography in it. The photography looks slapdash. The camera work is not very good. I mean, then I'm only going on what the bits I've seen.
I can confirm. Me and Bagfish broke it down. It ain't good.
Yeah, it doesn't look very professional for the amount of money that they've got. I mean, I'm in the midst of making a web series at the moment, and my photography looks so much better than this stuff. I don't know what they were shooting it on either, so I don't know. I'll take a look at it and see what I think. But obviously, I can't comment on it unless I see all of it. So there you go.
And Uninspired, you actually asked to come on because you wanted to talk about this.
Yeah, I did.
What did you think, bro?
Because I had watched the first hour, I think it was yesterday, and I started talking about it with Andrew on Discord. And then after that, I finished it today, and I was like, damn, this movie is is interesting. It's very amateurish, which, as Mega Geek said, for the budget, it shouldn't look like this. They don't really try using any different lenses, basically, and it just makes everything look stale. And there is a lot of weirdly looking CGI rain, which I talked about with Andrew, and I don't know why. It's weird. The suit looks fine in some instances, but on others, it really looks like a dollar store thing.
Yep.
But I will say that the VFX and the web swinging scenes are absolutely fantastic for that. They are really, really good. But the story overall is absolute garbage, basically, because it's just depressive scene followed by another depressive scene out of context. And it's just like, okay, what are we doing? It's just trying to hammer in the point of, yes, Spider-Man is trying to get over Gwen Stacy. He's trying to get over Gwen Stacy. Everyone is trying to get over it, but it doesn't really have a proper, let's say, ending to it. And even at parts where I was like, okay, this is going to be the ending, I look and I see there's about 40 minutes more in the runtime. I'm like, Jesus. So yeah, it should have been condensed into a 40 to an hour long movie, 40 minute to an hour long movie, where you could have used the budget better, probably had maybe just make it a bit more Spider-Man-ly, because Peter Parker in this is wow.
Yeah,
he's villainous.
I'm not sure if I really minded the fact that, well, no, I mean, obviously, apparently stuff happens later, which puts him in quite a bad light. I didn't necessarily mind the fact that it is so different in terms of its premise and its feel, because the Spider-Man does kind of require, if you're going to do Spider-Man as Spider-Man, that there are long sort of web slinging stuff, and there's lots of CGI kind of entailed by that. Lots of big sort of stable action pieces, and this film simply doesn't have the budget or the talent to do that. So it was very consciously, I think, trying to avoid doing that. Now, whether it succeeded in doing that is another question, but I don't necessarily mind that it recognized its own limitations in that way. I think the problem is that it's so very, very high school all the way through. Like all the relationship angsty drama stuff is so fucking high school, and these high school kids never shut up about this stuff. So they of course they just carry on. And I was just looking there thinking, also the music doesn't help, because there's this weird sort of generic bland like score over almost every single scene, which basically ensures every single scene, which ensures that you are just going to drift off, because there's no real indication as to whether this particular angsty argument between two characters is a serious one or whether it's just filler, because the music doesn't shut up enough to make you realize that this is an important scene. And then every time you think, right, we're finally going to get somewhere now, then all of a sudden you cut to this rooftop where like Mary Jane is smoking, and some random dude comes out, and there's another fucking high school conversation about Peter Parker in high school and how like he was small, but then he stood up for himself. I was like, okay, fine, I get all of this, but I really don't care. So can we please get on with the fucking story now?
That was Flash Thompson on the rooftop.
It was
that was Flash Thompson.
He was
had
a
to
better
say
Peter
it was
Parker
Flash.
than
Who is Flash
Peter
Thompson?
Parker.
Flash
You know,
Thompson.
He is the bully.
I mean, he wasn't really a bully in this, man. He was a good guy in this.
Yeah, he was like a nice person in this.
Yeah.
He had to say his name was Flash in order to be like, oh, that's who this character's supposed to be.
Every time he was on screen, it's like, oh, Flash told me. Flash is here. It's like, yeah, we know it's Flash, man. You said it once. We get it.
I think the casting is not very good either. The guy, I'm assuming this guy with the long face, he's the Goblin, or
Harry
son of the Goblin, Harry Osborn. He does that's a really good casting there. But the girls and Peter Parker, is Peter Parker Hispanic or something? He looks very Hispanic.
No, he's he looks like a discount Tom Holland, the guy.
He does.
All right, okay. I mean, but I mean that's obviously, I mean, if they're low budget, which they really weren't, really, let's face. Anyway, I'll leave it to you guys because I'm just watching bits. Yeah, dear, oh dear.
And Vex, what did you think of this piece of shit?
I don't know what you guys are saying. This was brilliant. I can't believe you didn't catch on to all the teen angst. It made me want to listen to My Chemical Romance again and slip my wrists in the tub. It was phenomenal. No, but this was garbage. I was really bored by it. Like 10 minutes in, the pacing's all over the place. The plot isn't coherent at all.
This shot's out of focus.
Yeah, like you guys said as well, for $100,000, like it's like where's the production value, in all honesty? Most of the acting wasn't very good. I agree with the music as well. It felt really generic and didn't add any weight. If anything, it drowned out the weight of a lot of like the more impactful scenes that there were. I also don't understand why the fuck it's called Lotus. I thought of literally 7 better names for this
I
shit.
searched it, and it means purity and rebirth.
Oh,
why not just call it
interesting.
Rebirth? That sounds way better.
I don't know. Well, it's weird because like Spider-Man isn't really reborn. He just kind of gets over a dead chick.
Yep.
Right. And then he realizes that, I shouldn't trauma dump on a dying child. Maybe that's not a good way to get over the death of my girlfriend.
And leave him whenever he says, "Oh, I'm scared," and he just leaves him and visits his grave.
He's
after.
like,
It's like Jesus.
See, I haven't got to that, but that bit sounds hilarious. But I don't think I have the patience to actually get there. It takes Gwen like 15 minutes to die, and it's really annoying. So the beginning is there's a lot of over the top narration from Peter Parker when he introduces the film. It's like, and again, like, this is our happy, idyllic high school days when everyone was friends and we love each other. But then this happened, and you think, oh shit, she's gonna die. And then you cut to another scene, and he's narrating again. She's still not dead, and it was really nice, and it was really happy, and it was really great. And then this happened, and you think, okay, now she's gonna die. No, then you get the title slate. That's fine, okay. Then you pick up again, and he's narrating again how difficult it is, but we don't really know what happened yet. It took, I think, 20 minutes before eventually she died. So the thing that the voiceover has been building up to takes a good chunk of the film to actually arrive, and it's the kind of thing you really can just dispense with in 5 minutes. And that's what the point of a voiceover is. It's heavy on exposition, which is a bit cheap, but at least, it gets the point across. But it's supposed to get the fucking point across. You don't just drag that out. The whole point of having that is to fast forward to the bit that's relevant, not just keep teasing
he might have wanted to drag it out to make it a proper 2 hours, just to say it's a real feature film.
It's a feature film.
Unnecessary, and just a waste of time. Most of it. That film could have been cut by about 75%, and the point would have gotten across just the same. The other, oh my god, I just had the point and it's left my head completely. This was just really disappointing. Oh, there we go. This, if anything, is a point not to let fans have any creative input for people that are in Hollywood, because they clearly didn't understand the material that they were adapting. I'm not familiar with what exactly they were adapting, but even I could tell that there was a lot of like creative mismatching in what exactly they were trying to get across and what stories they were trying to tell. Like, there's a scene in the second half of the movie where what's her face? MJ finds Harry. Yeah, sorry. MJ finds Harry, and they're talking in a car, and she's got this ridiculous bright green eyeshadow. And she's like, I saw a flash last night. And then she starts describing this flashback where, like, oh, you convinced us to stay for fireworks. And then little by little, we all became better friends and bonded over it. I'm like, what?
Yeah. And then she says, we all lost something, but I think we all gained something. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, you just pulled this cliche line out of your pocket like it means something.
The story made the little anecdote didn't make any sense for what she was trying to pull. So I'm really disappointed, because this looked like it had a lot of good potential. And it just, it seems like if someone stitched together a bunch of Spider-Man TikToks and thought, oh, I can make that a movie, then this works. That's it.
Also, right, they use the old trick by buying in footage of New York and playing it for longer than it should play. And that's to stretch out the time of the film. Because I made a low budget film a long time ago for a huge company, and that's what they did. After everything was shot, they brought shots of New York or whatever and stretched it out so it reached 90 minutes. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's what they're doing here. But that's an old trick that they're doing here. But saying that, though, even though it's not very good, I can't really judge, only seeing what I'm seeing. I must take my hat off to them, because they did make a film off their own back, didn't they? And they raised the money. So, you got to take your hat off. It's difficult making movies these days. So anyway.
I think that is the thing I think is worth praising, is that given how young and inexperienced they are, and how much goes into better than I do, how much goes into making something like this, and the fact that they were able to pull the money together to get it all put together to survive the controversy, some of which I think were probably quite unjust, and then to get it out is an achievement of a kind. I just think that a lot of the complaints that you can make about, say, production values or possibly bad uses of money are maybe less interesting than the ones that it doesn't take any money to put right, which is basic writing decisions and basic pacing of your plot and your structure and everything like that.
Yeah.
I think the script is a huge issue too, because I mentioned before we went live that like it's such a simple story to tell. Like it's Peter dealing with Gwen Stacy, and clearly the filmmakers had a lot of love for the Spider-Man character and a lot of knowledge of the source material, so they would be able to pick out of that like how to, I don't know, direct the script. But in 1994, there was the Spider-Man cartoon, and it did a better adaptation of this situation. There's an episode where he goes and visits someone who's a child who's extremely sick, and it makes him appreciate the need for Spider-Man again, like why the city needs him. And in this, it's constant weird choices to send the characters. Like you guys were saying, Spider-Man trauma dumps on a child. He can't like hold anything in. There's a point where like the kid brings up a memory he has of seeing like Spider-Man on TV or something, and Spider-Man just stands up and goes, "I can't do this," and just leaves the kid.
Yeah, he just goes to the mom.
He goes to the mom. He's like, "Listen, I ain't it." And then he's like, and then the mom's like, "But you're all he has." And then he's like, "All right, fine, I'll go back."
I guess
I told him what he needed to hear. Like, this dude is like 7 years old and he's on his deathbed. What do you mean you told him what he needed to hear?
Yeah, it's just so it does feel like the same thing that we poke fun of with Hollywood writers, just in it's a microcosm of that kind of stuff. What we say now is
a
like
big issue, man. It's because like they tried to. You can tell that they're fans of it, but they try to put everything into that movie, which is why it's so long. And it's like you can just cut this down to 40 minutes to an hour. It would have been better, and it just having that faster pace would have made the story would have made it more impactful.
In their
20s. It must be in their 20s,
early 20s.
Early 20s. I mean, it seems like they don't have the experience to make something like this. They did their best, and as Ben says, you got to take your hat off to them, I guess.
No, I do. Like, there are some things that I was pretty blown away by. Most of the time, I really liked the Spider-Man outfit, and I was like, man, I wish we could have that in a real Spider-Man movie. Like, I'm sick of the CGI aided costume, or 100% CGI most of the time. So also like the first CGI scene with him swinging in, I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, they threw that out.
Good?
They threw that out during the original controversy last year, and like everyone on Twitter like stopped, looked at it, we're like, hey, they're kind of cooking here. What
yeah.
Like that was
it also annoys me
VFX
because
artist left.
Oh yeah, that the VFX artist for that left after the first controversy. And then
2 million people saw it though. 2 million people saw it. So
the director was born in 2004.
Okay.
So
wait, what?
Even I find that depressing.
What?
He didn't even witness 9/11. Goodness gracious.
Okay, so that's why it feels like it was written by AI, and it's like, computer, what would a human do if they were sad because someone died? And like that's how the characters kind of act. Like Harry's addicted to pills, and he literally holds them up in one scene and says, "This is all I have."
Yeah,
like,
and they don't even like clarify because they have no idea what they're talking about. They're like, I know you're on pills.
You're on the pills.
What pills? What is he on?
Put down the fentanyl, god damn it.
He started writing it when he was 18, and then basically now he's 19, I guess. So yeah.
It does. Like, if you're younger, you have this really unfortunate tendency to overly dramatize everything. So young people have very little by way of subtlety. So, for example, in order to show how very, very dearly Peter loves Gwen, it can't just be enough to build that into dialogue or behavior. No. He has to do the whole thing where he pulls out the wedding ring and hides it behind his back because they're going to get married. Because, that's as overt and unsubtle a way to dramatize the point as you possibly can. Now, the thing is, actually, their relationship, I think, is probably quite well set up by the dialogue. That was unnecessary. That did just feel like, oh, you're doing that. But I think we would have got it without that. The difference is stuff like, with the holding up the pills and saying, this is all I have. There's no subtlety in the script at all. It doesn't trust itself or its audience to actually pick up on smaller details. And that might be because the writers are not the kind of people to do that either.
Well, they're very young, aren't they? So it comes across as just taking away what you guys are saying. It comes across that they don't have experience in life, and this is what they've written. So
well, for me, it's how did they get all the money through the crowdfunding? Because you have to, show proof of something that you've done before to be able to get like 122K through crowdfunding. Plus, they had the support of I think it was John Watts, so the guy that made the trilogy for the MCU. It's like,
didn't Andrew Garfield pick up on it as well? Like they had a few celebrities sort of express interest, which I think helped sort of snowball the effect a bit. And it was only after that lots of the Vengeance drama comes out. But they got it off the ground.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, right? I mean, I'm just watching bits of it now. It is what it is at the end of the day, right? And it's made by kids, I would say, because I'm a lot older, obviously.
I mean,
but the thing is, though, where did the money go?
Yes,
Obviously, it didn't go to the production because photography is not very good, and but anyway,
the lighting is horrible. Also,
the lighting is very.
I think
bad.
it's the grading's not very good either.
No, it doesn't even look like they did any grading.
It does.
They didn't do any. I'm pretty sure they made it. They probably made it like brighter in post. But one of the things that like really like disappointed me was like with the fan film point of view, you can do a lot of character work, and that's what this movie is just trying to do the entire way through is character work. And like as a writer, character work should be something that is the most important thing in order to like get a audience to enjoy the thing you're making. Which is why like Obi-Wan should have had like way more character work and should have been good character work. But it didn't, and the entire movie and the entire show was terrible. And in this, there's signs of character work that they want to do, but there's no through line with any of the plot. It's really like the premise is really, really good. Like it's based on the original comic, the 2-parter. I think it's like 122 to 123 of Gwen Stacy's death and the friendships reaction to that. And then it's also based on Spider-Man Blue. Some of the pacing is just ripped directly from that, and like there's a couple quotes that are just ripped directly from that. So yeah, they had a lot to work with here, and it just didn't come through at all.
Credit though, again, trying to find more things to praise about it, because it is in some ways a sterling effort. I think the fact that they were taking it so seriously is it undermines the film to a point. If ever there was a film that could really have done with an injection of a little bit of Marvel humor, it's probably this one. But the fact that they didn't overindulge in that kind of thing, and they did actually try to treat their characters very seriously and tell a serious story about serious themes with serious consequences, is a welcome break from sort of complete lightweight nonsense trash of the type that the studios themselves are putting out. So that's, again, it doesn't put it off, but at least the intent is there to do something a bit, proper.
Well, they tried to do humor. Like they had one joke where it was like Harry and he's like, "Hey, look at this mustache I'm growing," and then Peter's like, "What mustache?"
Oh, okay.
Like,
that
we're
was
growing
so
in.
unfunny
And it was
that I
so
didn't even count
bad.
it as a joke.
Dude, if that joke felt like it was 10 minutes long.
Yeah.
Like there's a moment where like Peter's just staring at Harry for like a solid 3 seconds, and then he says something. Man, it was just not good. And then he had like
you also
2
have
seconds of...
Shocker trying to pull jokes in the beginning too.
Oh yeah,
that entire
that costume was awful. The Shocker costume. Yeah, I didn't think. Yeah, it's not very good.
Yeah, the directing,
even
in
the fighting was
scene was
so badly filmed.
Yes.
Man. I mean, talk about quick cutting and shaky cam. Jesus.
And stopping to talk and tell jokes, because Spider-Man just does that apparently in every thing.
Yeah, I am starting just on that point. I think I am revising my opinion. Okay, yes, it would have been nice if the rest of the film had been lighter, but actually, having seen the film's attempts at humor at the beginning, it's probably best they didn't do much more of that.
Spider-Man stops fighting Shocker. He's like, "What? You got a new suit?" And then Shocker's like, "Yeah, it's my Shocker suit." And then like it's this back and
Came
forth
up with
for
that all by
30
yourself?
seconds.
Oh, he just goes on. That's the problem. Like maybe 1 or 2 little quips just to show that it's Peter Parker as Peter Parker in his prime, and that's what he does would be fine. But that scene does go on. Mind you, all the scenes go on, but that one
Like
does.
Fight him and make fun of him. That's what
I mean. Look at the Amazing Spider-Man. I think the Amazing Spider-Man is the best example of doing that with just having him quip throughout while stopping bad guys. Like for me, that's prime time Spider-Man is Tasm.
I actually think the very best was his first appearance in the MCU in Civil War when he was fighting Falcon and Winter Soldier at the same time. That was
like,
that was
you have a metal
Peter
arm?
Parker. Yeah, that's awesome, dude. Like that's an amazing scene.
How
sums up
long
Peter right
did
there.
this thing take to be? You know, how
5
many
years?
5 years. Well, that explains it because the girl looks like she's wearing a wig, and then suddenly it looks like her own hair. Sorry, that's Gwen hair. Do you know what I mean?
Gwen?
It's just really weird. It's weird. That explains it. Then a lot of things I'm seeing is
well, it looks as if there's some stuff that was shot fairly recently, which is the stuff that actually looks good.
Yeah.
And then all the stuff that looks a bit bad and poorly lit is what is probably was filmed at the beginning. But then I think Platoon brought this up about the scene where they tried to do it in black and white, which I kind of liked as a sense of it was trying to do something different to convey Peter Parker's origin in a different way than we've seen without basically just spouting it out to us, which I think it was good. Could have been, well, of course, could have been improved, but I enjoyed that part of it.
When they do black and white, because when you do black and white, you got to up the contrast a lot in order to have like detail, and it didn't do that, so it just kind of looked just gray.
Black and white, yeah. They just went to Premiere Pro, put the saturation to minus 100. That's it.
They were like, "All right, we're good."
Explains a lot, though, doesn't it? If this was 5 years to make this, it does explain a lot.
Yeah, and then there's a scene where so Peter's at Gwen's gravesite, and MJ comes up, and she's trying to like talk to him, and then he's like, "Why are you here? Tell me why you're here?" And it's like, bro, this is her best friend's gravestone. Of course she's gonna be here, dude. Calm down.
And it's weird for something that drags on so long to have so little connective tissue, because the voiceover had just finished telling us that they were really best friends and they thought it would go on forever and they wished that it had gone on forever. And then the next time you see them, it's, "Oh, you're a dick." And I think, yeah, I know, I understand what you're trying to convey, which is that this death is this earth-shattering moment that's driven the friend group apart. The problem is that because of the non-linear way that the film approaches its own plot, because we don't really get that scene in particular until after the fact, and because everything else takes its time, it just feels like there's something kind of missing in between there, or it's not earned. And I think that probably would have been solved if you just maybe toned down the praise and the adulation and the voiceover. But there's definitely something that really should have smoothed that difference, I think.
Yeah, I actually thought that the movie was gonna end on the second cemetery scene when the voiceover is there, with the music, and I mean,
I agree.
It's so stupid that he's in the cemetery wearing his Spider-Man outfit, which I don't even understand already.
Oh,
but
yeah, dude.
You see...
yeah, and then he's like, "I told this kid that I was Peter Parker, but it don't matter. He died anyway."
Yeah, they show his gravestone. The kid, I was like, Jesus, this is the kid that we were just chilling with.
They did not need to show that kid was dead either. Like they didn't need to go there at all.
Yeah, and especially with the kid, right? I was talking to Uninspired Reviewer about this. So when Spider-Man's about to leave, the kid's like, "Hey, I'm scared," and like, "Don't leave." And it's like, Spider-Man, listen, sit down. This kid has cancer. He's scared because he doesn't know if he's gonna wake up next morning. Maybe you should just stay. And like that would have been like a really cool, like you could have him like about to go out the window. He like hears a siren, but then he just decides to stay with the kid all night. That could have been a really cool moment. But
because you have that at the beginning, that would have played off the scene at the beginning where he is standing with Gwen and he's about to give her the ring, but he hears the sirens and leaves. And so to show that kind of aspect of character, I've not got to that part of the film, but I gather if he hears the sirens and leaves again, then they've kind of missed the opportunity to show that he has actually grown from his experience.
He does at the end. The final scene, right? So after his big monologue, Spider-Man's like, "I don't know if I'll ever be able to love again, but I know I'll be closer to my friends." And then he goes, because Flash comes home from the military. And it's like a big reunion party.
Is it him coming home from the military? Or is it him
I don't know. It's either him coming home or going away. I don't know what it is.
I think it was a going away party.
Going away? Okay, yeah.
There's no sense.
Oh, that makes this even worse. So he's going in. He looks inside of the diner. He sees Flash. He sees MJ. He sees Harry. They're all happy. and it's like, all right, he's gonna be closer to his friends, and then he hears a siren and he leaves, and then he pulls off his suit like he thinks he's Superman.
Yeah, that was really cringy. That was super cringe. My goodness.
It was incredible. This is filmmaking 101.
True.
I did like the bit
real.
though. I did like the bit where he got cancelled for calling someone a though. I mean that was quite
true. Actually, Miles Morales doesn't exist in that universe. He killed him.
It was his canon event.
Well, I didn't know we were going to spend 35 minutes on this. It got something out of us, I guess.
There's so much hype around it, right? So you just think it would be at least half decent.
There was
but...
a lot of hype around it.
Yeah,
most of the hype was to clown on it, and we did. So
yeah,
we did.
And a lot of the things I've just been seeing about it is hyper negative.
Mostly
just because people want to virtue signal about like
Yes.
the controversies about it. Like, oh, this was a piece of shit. Like, no, it is. It's not good. But it's also not good only because like when they were 14, they said the N-word once. So
was it with an A or an ER? I think there's a big difference.
Oh yeah, if it's with an A, you're like, I mean, it's alright.
Yeah, you're all right.
It's alright.
I mean, it's alright, man. If it's with the hard R, then hey, we got a problem, bro.
Exactly.
But when did you guys first hear about Spider-Man Lotus? Because I actually first heard about it because of the controversy, and
that's how I learned about it too.
Yeah. That's why I'm very surprised by how it got that much money before all of that happened.
I'm looking. I went to Gavin J. Cunup, and that's the director's name, and I'm looking through his thing. This is his first thing ever made.
I mean, for the first thing ever made, and he's like 19. It's
not bad.
It's a fair effort.
I mean, in terms of technique, sure. Writing, no.
Writing, no. But that also, like I was saying earlier, it kind of is a smaller scale version of what we make fun of Hollywood writers for, where we kind of joke and say like they have no life experience, so they don't know how to actually write any characters with any sort of real depth. And that speaks to a 19-year-old writing a Spider-Man story about someone who lost multiple people to death. They don't have a clue, most likely. Like,
yeah, and it is.
I highly doubt a 19-year-old had a girlfriend die.
Yeah, it's very funny as well because this guy also has gone on record saying like the MCU doesn't understand Spider-Man, and I'm going to make a film to understand.
Yeah, he doesn't understand Spider-Man.
It's like, man, do you like? Peter, if this is the real Spider-Man, if this is real Peter Parker, I ain't a fan, man.
Yep.
I'll stick to Miles.
This Peter Parker is definitely like a 12-year-old trapped in an adult's body because the way he handles certain things. He's just like, all right, 7-year-old with terminal cancer. I'm out of here. You brought up a traumatic memory. I can't deal with this shit. Bye.
Interesting.
I mean, that scene is really so like it's just so funny, especially like because it's heartfelt at the beginning, and then once you just get to that ending, you're like, damn, and they make it even worse just by showing the kid's headstone. You're like, oh
yeah.
And then the voiceover was funny because he's like, he's like, hey Gwen, I told a kid that I was Spider-Man. It don't matter. It don't matter. He died anyway.
It's like
you would have liked him.
Well, now you get to meet him. Am I right?
Oh man.
Oh my god. And then the movie kept going on after that too. There was like another 20-25 minutes left.
Yeah,
which was nonsense. I was like, what the fuck?
Absolute nonsense. And it was so funny because the next scene, it's Peter hanging out in his kitchen, and then MJ and Harry both walk in, and it's like we don't know, or the filmmakers don't trust that we remember who is playing who, and so every character says each other's names. Like, people
even
really
though it's
do
like
that.
very clear who is who because they're wearing wigs.
Peter, Harry, MJ.
Actually, MJ
says each other's names.
Sure. Yeah,
it's true. Oh man, but like it's as I said before, there's no really the time in the movie is just so weird. You don't really know if it's a day after, a week after, a month after.
Yeah.
It's just like scenes following each other of people dealing with the thing. You're just like, okay, I guess this is it.
I feel like whatever the guy's name is that directed, he wrote it too, right?
Yeah, he wrote it, and the dude that played Spider-Man wrote it. So
Yeah,
the
I
dude
was
that played
like,
Spider-Man was 21, and the other guy was 18.
yeah, I was with the overbearing music. I was like, okay, this dude watched Requiem for a Dream like 40 times, and was like, yeah, I totally get what it's like to feel emotion now. This is how you make a movie.
It's saying something. It takes a lot to make me skip 10 seconds forward on a Sigur Rós song or a Radiohead cover for that matter. And I did it on both of these occasions. Sat there, was listening to the cover of exit music for a film, thinking I could just be playing this and this would be more fun.
What do you guys think of the Spider-Man theme that they made?
There was a theme.
Okay.
I didn't even notice there was a theme.
It was very subtly worked in there with some of the orchestra.
It sounds like the Shire theme from Lord of the Rings. I'm not kidding. It's 2 notes off from being the Shire theme.
He's right, yeah.
It's true.
But it all makes sense, though. Listening to what you guys are saying, all makes sense. 5 years making this, of course, you're going to lose your way. Of course, the writing's going to be different from when you start to the ending,
and especially
and
from
all
like
these things come into play,
19,
don't they? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like 14 years old to 19 years old.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, COVID probably put a huge dent in their production as well.
Yeah,
which didn't help things. So I'm sure they had to rework the script according to that as well.
And on a positive note, they actually completed it. So, you know.
Yeah, 100%. And like Fear of the Hammers says here, I guess I meant making a movie at 20 is impressive to me, and to have critics like these guys talking about it would be a big deal. And yeah, it is. It's still really cool. Like to give them a pat on the back. They're 19 years old.
It's also more than that, right? So like, there's a reason. I personally, at least, there's a reason I will come and criticize this film, like I will criticize any major big budget production, and that's because I take it seriously when people want to create art. It's not meant to discourage. It's simply meant to say I treat you seriously enough to treat the thing you produce seriously as well. We could just be sitting here memeing about it or saying, "Oh, well done, you're a child and you made a film," but we don't do that because that would be patronizing.
It is, but also though, as a filmmaker, when people criticize your work, I don't care what anyone says. Of course, it hurts. But the best thing you can do is learn from it. The worst thing you can do is ignore the stuff that hurts you, because if it hurts you, you know that there is a reason why it's hurting you, because you know that you made an error, a big error in what you've done. So the best thing you can do is learn from it, and then on your next one, don't repeat the error. That's the best thing you can do.
Having said all of that, though, I give it maybe 2 days before he comes out and says, "Yeah, the fans don't like it because they're racist." So
no, it'll probably be 2 days, and he's probably going to be in prison. So that's crazy.
Some of the effects are quite good in it, though, but they still look like effects. They still
There was one scene in particular where he's Spider-Man is in full costume sitting in the rain, and it's clearly full CGI. And I was like, why'd you even do this? You're just standing in the rain. Why did this need to be CGI?
Well, the rain is CGI too sometimes. Like you can tell that they have actual rain, but then it looks as if they put like rain again.
More rain.
Yeah, but it doesn't look like it's on the same level.
Rain.
It's so weird. But honestly, good on them for making a movie at that age, and hopefully they learn from the actual criticism and not just people saying that they're
no, she's right. To hear somebody say your baby's ugly, it's a horrible thing. It really is. But the best thing you can do is listen to them carefully, not be so angry, try and be better next time round. That's the best thing you can do.
Yeah, one of the biggest days in one of my first classes in film school was we showed everyone our projects, and everyone's goal was to rip it apart. So
that would have been fun.
You know what I've noticed with like my comic book that I released a few years ago was that any of the negative criticism I got was really only confirmation of something I knew deep down.
Yes, I agree.
And I always learned what I learned from that was just like always be honest with yourself and like stop lying to yourself, because no negative criticism I've ever gotten about anything, when it's real criticism, not someone just being angry like in a YouTube comment section, like, you suck. but I mean like real criticism, and you know it, and all it is confirmation of something, and it can be like pain to the ego or whatever. But you can bypass all that by just being true to yourself and being honest. Like, yeah, I know that's I know that's already there. So these guys probably already know that too, or if they don't, they certainly do now, because we can't be the only dissenting opinions on this movie.
I don't think anybody says this is good.
No, if you just look up like reviews online, the only thing you see it's bad, it sucks.
It's good. It's a fan film. It's fine. I've seen that one a few times, which is not a ringing endorsement.
I look at everything through like the same lens. Like, I don't care if it's a fan film or not. If your writing's bad, your writing's bad. Like,
oh, for sure. That's why we're not holding anything back here.
So.
Well, hopefully they've learned from this, and next time they do something, could be better.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
It is very ambitious that this is their first project.
Yeah, it's ballsy,
and it shows.
Who funded this? Actually, if they're that young, how did they manage?
Their friends.
It was a GoFundMe.
Yeah,
it was a GoFundMe, but as I said before, like, don't you have to have something that you've already done, like a proof of concept?
They have an announcement trailer.
Yeah. But how do you? There must be a million people that are like, "Oh, I'm going to make a Spider-Man movie." Like, what did they have to show people that got them invested in
young people on the internet, right? They're really good at doing that, riling up loads of people, making people subscribe and stuff like that. Me, an old fart, I can't even get 7 people subscribed to my channel. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know. I think young people are far more better at doing stuff than I can't understand the logic behind why people would subscribe to channels that just is crap, but people do, so I don't know how they did it, but they did it, right? They raised the money.
Mean, if what Andrew put in the private chat is true, maybe they were using that to get some money as well.
They were entertaining it, maybe.
Actually, do you know what, right? I think I remember a long time ago they put up an effect that they did, a special effect they did of Spider-Man. I think that might have been the thing that everybody bought.
It might have been the thing that launched it, but their announcement trailer was it.
Right.
And I think once that effect came out, they already got all the funding that they needed.
Wow. Well, I don't know how they did it. Wow, it's crazy.
Because when the effects came out, that was when the controversy was there and the VFX crew was leaving. So they were just showing off what they had already made for the film. So
yeah,
I think Platoon's falling asleep. Wake up, Ben! Wake up.
There's another fan film that's coming out. It's made by High Top Films, and I'm very interested in.
I'm interested in that too. No, it's about Jason Todd.
Jason Todd.
Yeah.
Oh.
And it looks like he knows what he's doing with his camera, so that's at least a plus.
When is that coming out?
Christmas.
Okay. Cool. This year.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I'm actually excited. I've seen some of his stuff. I think he's okay. It'll be interesting to see what he does with Jason
And it's
Todd.
an actual short film, not like, hey, I'm going to make a 2-hour feature-length film and pad this shit out.
Yeah, I mean, like, hey, guys, don't forget, we also have that Superman fan film,
Oh,
oh my god. I could not see that movie. I couldn't see it. Like, the first clip I see, they break the 180 rule like 5 times, and I was just like, all right, I'm done.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I forgot about that one. Did that come out at the same time?
That came out 2 weeks ago.
Oh man.
Was it any good?
No.
No, it's really bad. Like it makes
it looks like something from Asylum Pictures, basically.
It makes Man of Steel look good.
Yeah.
It made Superman into Homelander for a second.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Yeah, I forgot about that one.
I didn't even know there was one. What's it called?
Yeah, I didn't either.
Superman Solar.
Superman
Solar.
Does he harness the power of the sun? Is that why it's called Solar?
Well, since it's a fan film, I can pull up a clip of it or something, right? Like I can play it.
Let's watch
it.
Let's watch the full movie.
So, let's watch the full. We could.
Well, there is something to be said for it.
Just react to it.
At least it's only half
Lotus
an hour long. It's only half an hour long rather than 2 hours. So even if
let's watch the trailer. How about that?
It's half an hour long, but the credits are 10 minutes. So the movie is basically
really?
Yes.
10 minutes? Who are you crediting? How many?
Oh, this is the part that I saw on Twitter. Okay, let me just pull this part up and we'll play this. Hang on. I'll screen share this sucker. Maybe. I still haven't mastered this.
My lord.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm getting Batman trivia. My bad. So while he pulls that up.
There we go.
Are you ready?
Yeah, look at this lighting, boys.
Yeah.
This is cinema.
Being afraid.
What? Did they just use the comedic cricket noise? Oh,
Cheapos.
look!
This is us reacting.
Bro.
Took some cues
Okay.
from
What's going
Zack
on?
Snyder with the camera angles.
Yeah.
He doesn't know. What are we focusing on, dude?
Yeah, why
Do
is
the
he so
rack
blurry?
focus.
Can we go back and just pause? It might be an idea to actually pause occasionally anyway, because having shat all over XQC last week, we
I
can't
was just
exactly go
going to
around doing
say-
the same thing.
I was just going to ask Platoon, who am I? Why is Superman standing there like this? I do not understand. What is going on?
No, that's way too much reaction for XQC. You're supposed to just go, dude,
What?
or
Dude,
what?
fuck.
Dude,
Guys.
guys, look, Cheeto,
What's going on
Cheeto.
there?
I just wanted to go back to that bit where that Superman was for some reason in the foreground and yet completely out of focus.
They
I wasn't
tried
sure what
to
was.
do. They
going
tried
on
to do
there.
a rack.
That's not how
focus,
lens
but
works.
They didn't do anything.
Yeah,
Oh, this is entirely CGI. All of
Oh
this.
yeah, for sure.
That
Cheapos.
looks okay.
Ugh.
It's all right.
That's,
It looks like a PS2 video game, but where's
Well, yeah, but
ugh?
here
That
I'm
rack
slightly
focus.
confused as to what's going on. Like that. Pause. What? Oh,
Oh, God.
Damn it!
we got
Hang
to
on.
watch the same fucking thing again.
Yeah, it's so good.
There we go.
You don't want to see it
What is
again?
going on there?
This is like
So
the scene in
In your
It is
director,
focused on
why,
nothing.
Yeah,
why is
so
this happening?
so basically, that's not how a lens works. If you're focusing on this fella down there, then yes, he would be out of focus. But you're not focusing on that fella because he's not in focus. Therefore,
no one's
Superman,
in focus.
Yeah, Superman should be in focus. I don't know what's going on there. That's a
The
green
rocks
screen
are
shot,
more in
obviously.
focus.
Yeah, exactly.
Guys, look at these rocks.
Yeah, so-
No, he
Yeah.
looks. He likes to look at feet through a very blurry
that's true.
pair of sunglasses.
I should do an XQC react and just get up and leave.
Yeah, everybody leave.
I think I did that last week. I can do that. I can just turn my little dude off and go away. There we go. Like live Little Platoon Twitch streamer react.
He's gone.
I want to see Papega's in chat right now.
Shall we keep watching?
Keep watching. Yeah, let's see
Yeah.
what's going on here.
I want to see where this goes.
Bro, please focus on something.
Just focus
Woo!
on Italian, please.
Phantom Menace. Now
I
this
mean,
is
it looks. What the?
So I think
Yeah. Zack Snyder.
Yeah.
This is the Snyder vision right here. Where's the road? Is there no road there? Is that just a billboard in the middle of the
It is.
desert?
Yep.
There was no road.
I'd pause just in case they're pernickety about this kind of thing. But a nice empty desert though. I like that very much. That was a really good place to pause actually.
This is like the Flash. This is
Yeah,
this is
it
actually
is.
happening.
This is
during
like the Flash.
Because it
CGI
saves
looks similar, too.
It saves so much. It actually does, which is a really, really damning indictment of the Flash. Because it saves money and still looks cheap. I think that's the problem. At least make it look like you haven't just put a 2D rock down on the screen there in that corner.
It looks,
It's true.
Is it didn't make the stuff on Real Engine, did they? If they did, it probably looked better. But I don't know what they've
Yeah.
done. Yeah, I really don't.
If we watch the 10-minute credits, maybe we'll find out.
Wait, and this is the part though where they break the 180 rule like 5 times in 15-20 seconds.
So, just for my edification, what is the 180 rule?
So it is just a line between the two actors that when you're using your camera, you don't cross in order to not confuse where they are in the place.
Okay.
So like you take your two actors, you line them up, you draw a line between them. That's your 180 rule. The camera can be on one side, but cannot cross to the other unless you have another like artistical reason or there's something narratively that you want the camera to be on the other side for.
They did they did cross the 180 rule, but they did it really well in the latest Mission Impossible film. They did it multiple times in close-ups. I don't know if you guys noticed that.
I noticed they had a lot of Dutch angles.
About, the Dutch angles. That was that's such a Brian De Palma throwback.
If you watch that scene where the bad guy's talking to the fellow with the glasses in the train, they cross it multiple times, but then they counter it with the other person on the other side as well, so it matches up with the shot that's wrong.
But that's also they were in such close quarters.
Yes.
Like what is that? Like a 4 foot? So it's really hard to get confused.
Yeah, it is. But sometimes the point I'm trying to make is sometimes you can cross it if it works, it works. You know what I mean? So, and in that film, it worked very well.
I can tell you, it does not work here.
Yeah, I've broken the 180 rule before. Like it's not like a hard set rule, but you have to have a good reason to break.
Yeah, you do,
well, that's the thing. There's a difference between breaking something that you don't know exists or breaking it accidentally and breaking it quite deliberately to make some kind of artistic point, which is fine. And that usually that the only way it can possibly work is if you've meant to do it in a particular way. If you've just done it because you're a piece of shit, then that's different.
Damn.
Yeah, that's an indictment.
Yeah,
there is one thing just to make this relevant to the Spider-Man thing. I think one of the things that I will praise about that film is knowing its limits. So if you know you don't have the budget for huge CGI battles, you don't do them, because if you do them, they're going to look shit. Whereas this one is just
they do. I was going to say they do sometimes, because there were
fight
multiple
with Green
times.
Goblin was not good.
Yeah, and the fight with Shocker too. I was just like, they needed to learn less is more. But when you compare it to something like this, those guys look like
Lotus is like a 3 out of 10, whereas this is just, what are you doing?
But I feel like even the fight scenes in Lotus were all because, well, okay, the actors probably are not trained to do that kind of combat, so the only way to get around that is to do a lot of jump cuts, and there are a lot of jump cuts, but at least like it's not quite like testing the limits of your own limits in the way that something like this is. That's just a way around an obvious limitation in a way that still allows the scene to pan out. Whereas this one is just, well, I can't possibly make this scene work at all with the budget I have, the knowledge I have, the technology I have. It won't work, but I'm gonna do it anyway. And then everyone's gonna laugh at it on the internet.
We'll do it live.
Do it live.
The lighting in this film is also like horrendously bad. The color grading too.
Look, there are shadows there. That's lighting.
Yeah, I mean, like with the dialogue scenes. I mean, that's why I compared it to an Asylum picture. Because if you watch Asylum movies, you'll see. You know what I mean.
Those Asylum movies are funny.
They are.
They're very funny.
All right, I'm gonna click play. Let's see this.
This music. Man.
What the?
Oh no, Brainiac! That is Brainiac. No,
we never get a clear shot of Brainiac or Superman, do we?
Oh wait.
Oh, there he is.
Look at that muscle suit, bro.
Is the whole thing CGI, or is he really there?
No, he's really there.
He's there.
I've never faced anyone who could move me.
He doesn't look real.
That's the ugliest Clark Kent I've ever
That I
seen.
can bleed.
Can we just pause again? Are you telling me that's a real person?
Yeah. Well,
no, that was one of the complaints. Was like, he's real, so why does he look CGI?
He's deepfaked or something, man.
It's the way they've edited it and the lighting to make him blend in.
It's bad green screen, and you can see the green on his chin there. It's really bad. And what they've done is, because they couldn't green screen it properly, what they've done is they've added light or some kind of light to kind of, especially the shot before this one or after this one. You can tell it's bad green screening. So
there's something weird about just like the lines as well. His ear doesn't look right. His fingers don't look right.
So it doesn't look good. And then listen to it. All right, everyone.
Listen to the dialogue.
I will now rip you limb from limb.
I've never faced anyone who can move me.
He's looking the wrong way. He's looking the wrong way.
You've showed me today that I could bleed. I'm even more like humans than I thought.
What?
But you know what I've done my whole life? Held back.
What are you rambling on?
Oh!
I was able to draw you away from the city.
So
I like it when villains actually just channel the audience. Like, what are you rambling on about?
What are you talking about? Wait, what? What did you just say?
I know why they couldn't flip the shot either because of his S. So he's looking the wrong way. So
why couldn't they flip the other shot then?
Yeah, they should have, shouldn't they? I don't
should have just flipped the other shot.
Yeah, exactly. I don't.
I mean, talk about the acting and delivery too of the lines.
Terrible.
Like, come on.
This seems like someone who's trying out for the role and they failed, but they went with this guy. Like it seems like this is the shot.
See, like I very, very rarely will watch any kind of fan film because this is what I expect them to be like. Whereas with like Lotus, at least I looked at it and thought, well, it doesn't look like I think fan films usually look like. This one though, this just is. My character in Baldur's Gate looks more real than this apparently real person does.
Oh, and this next part coming up is incredible because it's just a dude shooting lasers out of his eye. I'll let the scene speak for itself, and then we'll discuss it. All right, hang on. Let's go.
To the middle of nowhere. You brought me to a place where I can finally cut loose.
He seems like a guy. His voice does not shout Superman. It shouts like, "Honey, honey."
Nothing about him says Superman. Someone in chat called him Super Accountant, and I think that's probably right.
Honey, what's the bull's name tonight? That's his...
Honey, can you make my McDonald's order for me? I'm scared.
Oh, this is terrible.
Oh no, what is he doing? What the?
Oh, hello.
What?
Me when I see bad movie.
What the?
Yeah,
Wait,
why is it still going?
It's still going.
That's shooting out of his eyes, and it's that size.
But if it's shooting out of his eyes at the bad guy, why is it going straight up into space?
And why is it shooting out of? That's like Colombia, and they're in the middle of the fucking
world
desert.
is flat. That's what they're proving right now with this shot. The world is flat.
His lasers. Does Colombia have a desert?
I think
maybe a little bit. I don't know.
Or it's like Brazil.
Yeah.
Dude, Brazil, that's where the fucking Amazon is.
Brazil.
No, that's not South America because that's North America. That's the United States to the left there with all the lights. So he's in,
and
like,
right below it.
He's in Africa right now.
Then where the fuck Africa isn't there on Earth geographically?
Oh, wait, Africa's not there. That is South. Wait, is this
that has to be South America? Because
no, that is South America.
But that's the United States to the upper left there.
Very correct. And underneath us is
so Mexico on this globe is really long.
Yeah,
I guess. Yeah,
Mexico is quite long, and then it bulges out to the right. I think like it has to be quite because it's not tilted because America clearly isn't tilted. I don't know where they are. Maybe they're on some random little desert island.
They're not on a desert island.
That's
a
continent.
South America. That
Did
is
they
South
buy
America,
the wrong globe?
And that's Brazil or Colombia. And there's no fucking desert there. Okay,
they're buying assets for this. Did they buy the wrong globe?
I think so.
They
Yes.
bought the wrong globe.
Sorry, guys, we bought the wrong Earth. This is Earth 2.
He's obviously missed him, isn't he?
Featuring Long Mexico.
Do you think you might have missed him? Yeah.
Oh dear.
Yeah. What does this mean? That like Brainiac picked him up and he's totally missing him and he's shooting it off into space?
I think he just looked up into the sky for some reason.
He's gonna explode the sun.
Like how they shoot the gun into the air when they're frustrated in a really tense scene. He's just shooting up into the sky.
And plus, it has the Snyder, snap zooms.
Yeah.
Oh,
those obnoxious like shaky cam snap zooms.
Yep.
Yeah. God.
I'm dying to see what happens next.
All right, here we go.
What?
How does that help me? Because you believed it, right? I
was that a flashback?
Exactly how it happened.
What?
I think so.
It was all a dream.
I bluffed. Yeah, I got him away from the city, but I was terrified. I didn't know that I could bleed.
Oh my god!
So that was a flashback, right? So I'm assuming that the scene began with those two talking. Then we got that monstrosity, and now we cut back. That makes it okay. That makes more sense than just hard cutting away to several days later.
I liked it better when it was just a hard cut away.
Is this Jimmy Olsen or someone? Who's this fella? Anyone?
No idea. I think this is the kid that he tells to jump off the roof.
What?
I'm not kidding.
What?
I'm not kidding.
I'll save you. I swear. Wink.
know if I could beat him. I just knew that I needed just enough time to rest so I could give him everything I had. Truth be told,
That sounds really.
Oh no, he broke it! Man. Oh my god!
Yeah.
So I could give him everything I had.
I didn't even know if it would work. You never know unless you tried.
Okay.
Left.
How do you know that this isn't supposed to happen?
Canon event.
How do I know that this isn't
Miguel
supposed to happen?
Who is this guy?
All that I ask is that if you believe like I do, that no matter how good or how bad things are, tomorrow can always be better.
Why does it look like he's staring at his hair?
Right.
Yeah.
Not in the eyes.
Your hair is kind of nice, kid. I like
He's
it.
got some really intense eyes, though, to be fair. So I would probably look at his hair instead.
Stare right.
He kind of looks like.
So Andrew,
like
tell us
9 years
how
old.
good the lighting is here.
Bro, I can't see anything. I can't tell you.
Doesn't he look?
He looks kind of like Megamind because you can't see where the hair ends in the city.
He looks like well, I don't know. Maybe if I say this, maybe something like YouTube will, but it's that crypto guy.
I think R2's right. Oh yeah, this is Sam Bankman-Fried.
Yeah, exactly.
What?
It looks like him so.
You're
much.
right, actually.
It really does. Oh god.
Where's this mousy girlfriend?
Hand, and you'll be safe. But if you believe, without a doubt, that tomorrow and the day after and so forth will never be any better, but always worse, then against
Is he
every
looking at the
fiber
script?
in
What
my
is it?
being,
I don't know.
I will move out of the way.
Forgot
Watch
his
you fall
lines.
to
He
the
forgets his lines. He's looking down and checking the actual
And
piece of
he
paper.
is
Like,
100%. They are not in the same shot, just like R2 in the chat said, because
Oh.
he is staring over his head now.
Yep.
By the way, Superman just told this kid that he would not save this kid from falling off of this building.
If you jump,
I ain't stopping. Yeah.
I'm not stopping you because that means you gave up.
Yeah, but they broke the 180, didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
They've gone like
5 times.
They did.
Yeah, it's
We're
crazy.
going in a circle. This is a Michael Bay scene. True, because they care.
Oh god.
is there anything else worth saying about this, or are we done?
I mean, we can just make fun of it for the rest of the runtime. I don't know. 10
This is
seconds
kind of
at a time.
Let's watch Lotus next. The entirety.
Oh, all 2 hours. Oh god. I will
Times
jump
2
off a roof
speed.
if we do that.
I'm okay going to bed early if that's the case.
See some movies.
Well, we were going to start a second show where we break down stuff, so maybe we could do a fan film first.
I
and then
reckon we could. Yeah, we could do Superman Solo, the breakdown,
Please
and
do Lotus.
this is only half an
Lotus.
hour long, so it'll only take us about 6 hours to get through it.
Yeah, 10 seconds at a time.
So
Stop, laugh, mock, whatever.
Yeah.
How could they have cast that guy as Superman? He looks nothing like Superman. He's just.
It's
Why
probably
would
the
they
dude
do
that
that?
What do you mean? His acting chops said he was the best choice.
I don't think they had money. Did they have a budget?
Oh god.
Don't worry,
Oh, we're
Dave
gonna-
L. That's coming up too.
Yeah, we'll move on to Rachel now. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah, because at
This
least
is-
the defense with those films is that they have tight budgets, and so they're really limited in what they can do. But there's no excuse for what comes next, because I think we are moving on in short order to Snow White and the catastrophe that is Miss Zegler, who
Yes,
has more money than sense, as unlike those films which have no money and little sense.
What I find great about the Rachel Zegler Snow White situation is that she's uniting everybody, because it seems like no matter your political affiliation, or because unfortunately the culture war does bleed into everything nowadays, and she is making sure to amplify it, and it seems like she's uniting everybody. And I've said before, this only happens a few times a year, and earlier this year it was Peter Pan and Wendy did it, Velma
Ant-Man did it.
Velma
Secret
definitely did
Invasion has done it,
Yep.
and she's doing it now.
The world is healing, guys.
But she does it every time she opens her mouth. There's no
time.
variation at all. It's just that's her entire thing.
Yeah, I've said this to Vex a lot of times that I really don't like Rachel Zegler because I haven't liked her since what she pulled with the Oscars, having not been invited, and then after she basically auto-invited herself because she created a controversy. And then not even was she just invited, she was even promoted to presenter. And while she was on stage, she wanted to rub it into everyone, saying, oh yeah, I wasn't supposed to be here, but now I am. It's like,
I missed that entire story because this is the first time I've ever become aware of her. Are you saying she Karen'd her way into presenting role at the Oscars?
Yeah, basically.
That's impressive.
Yep.
It was really, really bad.
She a couple years ago too, when she got cast as Snow White initially, she called Jeremy Renner a racist, a homophobe, a woman beater. Yeah,
Jeremy Renner, don't talk bad about Hawkeye.
He was
bro.
going
What
through
are you
his
doing?
divorce at the time, right? And his wife had come out and said that he had a terrible addiction and all this stuff, and she just decided to draw a bunch of conclusions and badmouth him publicly in interviews.
Oh my god.
Yeah. She's a ripe old cunt.
And she's only and she's only a year older than me. Damn.
Bro, don't say that.
That is
That makes
entitlement
me
101.
depressed,
She
too.
is a perfect example of the worst of her generation, it seems.
But she does seem to have all of the worst traits rolled into one. Like it's that complete lack of self-awareness and yet massive heightened self-regard. Like complete unironic detachment from her own privilege while moaning about privilege. And then having the gall to come out at a time when people are facing a cost of living crisis, saying that yes, even though I'm being paid millions of dollars for my acting role, I want more money from Disney, because if I'm going to be standing around in a dress all day, I want to be paid for every minute I'm wearing that dress. Such a hard life you have. Such a hard life.
Every minute that someone watches her wearing the dress, even.
Oh yeah, it's even more than that. Yeah, just
it's
like
more than that.
I mean, it's so weird. Like, she hasn't really had a long career. I think she started in 2021.
Just a couple years ago. Yeah, she was in one
West Side
film.
Story.
And then she got cast as like the love interest in Shazam 2. And that's it. Then she got this job as Snow White. So she doesn't even have anything to really back her at all, which is also weird.
She was in Shazam 2.
Yeah,
if
she's
Shazam's on your portfolio, then you might as well just quit early.
The nerdy kid, or whatever, young Shazam, the girl that his brother. There we go. Shazam's nerdy brother, the one that can't walk, right?
She was his nerdy brother.
No, sorry. Okay, Shazam's peg-legged brother. Okay, that kid.
Sorry. Peg-legged.
That peg-legged brother fell in love with a girl that was at his school who was actually part of that evil witches thing, and that girl is played by Rachel Zegler.
Oh,
yeah.
Doesn't she lead him on in that film, and then she's like, "Oh, I'm 3,000 years old. We can't date."
Yes.
What a great character. I wonder how the actress is in real life. Oh, she's the same. That's great.
Great casting.
I have a clip pulled up here.
Cool.
Yep, it's really good too. Let's
Bring
see. I got it.
I really wish they wouldn't demonetize for the C word, because I really want to say it. I really want to say it.
Don't say it.
Don't say
Just
it.
repeatedly spam it in the private chat.
All right, so this is like, I don't know, probably 20 seconds. And
is this a new one?
It's like a montage at this point. It's like something new every day.
Oh wait, there's more. Oh,
yeah, there is.
What I
Just
normally
before
see.
we do Hero, though, she did say at the beginning of all of this that she refused to be dragged into any of the nonsensical discourse surrounding the film, and then proceeded to generate all of this herself. So top work there.
Yeah, so this is the latest one. I saw this one this morning, so I'm sure tomorrow there'll be another one. Here we go.
I mean, the original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her.
Yeah.
Weird.
Super weird.
So we didn't do that this time.
So no prince, or a different kind of prince?
We have a different approach to what I'm sure a lot of people will assume is a love story, just because we cast a guy in the movie, right. Andrew Burnap, great dude. Yeah. It's one of those things that I think everyone's going to have their assumptions about what it's actually going to be, but it's really not about the love story at all, which is really, really wonderful. And whether or not she finds love along the way is anybody's guess until 2024. All of Andrew's scenes could get cut. Who knows? It's Hollywood, baby.
Don't zoom in.
But it's an inner journey that she goes on to find her true self, and she meets a lot of people along the way that make the journey really incredible.
She must be able to fit a lot of cocks in her mouth. Look how big that mouth is.
Oh my
the only
God.
explanation
Bro,
for why she has a
she's
career.
2 weeks away from getting a unibrow.
Vex. Jeez.
I'm sorry. Like this is a woman that is going to just single-handedly destroy any sort of hype there is for this movie. Like this
But
movie still isn't even
I
out,
mean,
and nobody wants to see it.
anyways,
this
like
the-
her career is going to be over after this because the movie is going to flop. Everyone is
Oh,
going to
yeah.
see that she generated most of the bad press, and well, she probably won't get recast in anything. Well, the
But
only thing
apparently,
that she has coming out
the
is,
last time she did this, apparently she got a hosting job at the Oscars. You were telling me, so maybe she'll end up starring in the next big
$1 billion.
blockbuster
It'll
because
make
she's
$1 billion.
such a bitch that somehow she's incredibly successful.
It's true.
But you know what, right? I was saying this on another live stream. Just whistle while you work. Are they going to do that scene in the film where she's washing up? It's like, are they going to do that? I don't think they
No,
are.
she'll make the prince wash up because
The way,
that's
the way
this
she
is going.
said "dude" should not be ever said again. She needs to revoke the usage of that word immediately. She said it so like her mouth wasn't even opened. She said it like a Canadian. Dude. Really great
I
dude.
like that she also says it's that guy's role is so unimportant. Maybe all of his scenes will get cut.
Will get cut. It's like, yeah, who knows? Like,
maybe
Yeah, but he
should.
saved her life at the end, and he kissed her, and she came back.
Nope,
to life.
not this time.
No, not
in this adaptation, she discovers who she really is and the leader that she's supposed to be. That's the whole point of
you
this
need
adaptation.
consent. You need consent to wake you up from basically poison.
No, Mega, they're challenging all of the cliche Hollywood tropes of a woman being saved by doing the exact same kind of strong female character story we've seen a million fucking times in like just 5 years.
One of her earlier quotes that this version of Snow White is not after love, she's after leadership. Because, of course, leadership is much more important than love. It certainly is if you are an incredibly unlovely person, then I can see why you might think that. But
well, it is
most normal
2023.
people-
There's nothing that says strong female character than that character attempting to act like a man.
But
what is she
Gadot
gonna
is
do?
so
Go
much
to
better
war?
looking than her, though. What's she going to do when she
Well,
says, "Who's the fairest of them
Gal
all"?
Gadot,
What's going to happen
Gal Gadot's
there?
beautiful until she opens her mouth.
Exactly.
Doesn't
You
her
realize you can't.
finding leadership though completely undo all of the themes of the original story?
It's not
though?
Snow White.
Yeah, but she also had an interview recently too, where she talked about how she hated the movie Snow White. She
Yeah,
doesn't
she was
like.
scared of it. She only
Crazy.
saw it once and she was terrified of it. Is what she said.
Terrified?
Yes,
What do you
terrified.
mean?
I
And
don't
don't
know.
forget that she
At least-
posted a picture of her. She posted a picture of her like as a kid dressed as Snow White. So like that was a fucking lie.
Well, yeah, and also the hilarious part of her posting that photo is the fact that she is preaching that isn't she's like half Hispanic, right? She's like half white, half Hispanic, so she's really pushing the half that's Hispanic, and how she's been talking about the fact that as a person of color. Now kids can be seen and they can see themselves on screen. The standard blah, 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 the standard bullshit everyone says. Where she had no problem seeing herself in that character before since she was dressed as that character when she was a kid.
It's the same thing that happened with Halle Bailey and Little Mermaid. Exact same talking points, man.
Well, did Halle Bailey ever say that she hated the original? I don't think Halle Bailey.
Well, she didn't say that she hated the original, but she said that she can now see herself as the original. But then in another interview said that she basically began to learn how to swim because she saw herself as Ariel as a kid, and it's like that doesn't make sense.
Okay, so that doesn't contradict what you just said. Sure.
Like I don't know. I never heard anything negative about the original from Halle Bailey, and like
no, she never said anything about.
She seemed like she was
bad about the
she was
original.
probably the best actress that took on a live action role because like
hold on, what?
Emma Watson, man.
Emma Watson.
Yeah.
Well, Emma Watson is not
actually no. Who's the Lily chick that was Cinderella in the
Collins.
20? Yeah, Lily Collins. She was.
I completely forgot about that movie.
Cinderella was the first one.
Not Lily Collins, the other Lily.
Yeah, but the Lily, whatever.
Yeah, the one that was in Pam and Tommy. That Lily.
Yes, her. Yeah.
Yeah, she was a good one for Cinderella. I liked that live action adaptation.
I find it interesting too. Isn't this normally attributed to women? I don't hear a lot of guys saying like, "Oh, I'm glad this character is black or Hispanic now because now I feel seen." I feel like that's
not. No, that does happen. So, like Rings of Power, I think someone in chat might have mentioned this, but it definitely happened in Rings of Power. I think it was the guy who, Don Lemon said the same thing. I think.
Oh, not the actors. I mean, like actual people.
It happened when Lord of the Rings did a Magic the Gathering crossover, and there was like a TikTok of some guy being like, "Oh my god, I can see myself in Aragorn" or something like that, because Aragorn was black.
Dude, when I was a kid, I was like, Godzilla is literally me.
Big monster, literally me.
Like,
that's how I was with Thomas the Train. I was like, Train,
Thomas is me.
Literally me, bro.
But I've heard the important to be seen argument from both. It probably does track slightly more toward women than guys. The one I don't think I've ever heard a guy say is the one about, we're changing the themes. Obviously, she's not going to be saved by a prince this time. It's not about love. It's about leadership. It came out in 1937, so that's
and evidently so, because love is such an ancient.
It's not Snow White.
Shakespeare came out in the 1600s. He's so out of date. We should just ditch Romeo and Juliet.
Well, why don't they just make something else? Because it's not Snow White. The whole point of Snow White is the story, right?
Well,
Snow
you
White
know
is
the
not
answer to that
anymore.
question, because
I
then
do,
you
I
can't
do.
use an established IP in the hopes to make money.
Yeah.
I mean,
You
they
can't
did
use
it
the
with
name.
that Snow White and the Huntsman series, right? They took the IP and they reworked it their own way, and they made Snow White like a bit of a warrior woman, right? It wasn't a great film, but they made it work there. So why not just do the same thing? Kind of, if this is your plan is to just rewrite the entire point of Snow White, anyways.
It got a sequel without Snow White too.
Yeah, that's because Kirsten Dunst was fucking the director. So
Yep.
What's the budget for this? Isn't it 250?
Oh my
I hope
God.
so. I hope it's like $600
No,
million.
actually, I don't think there wasn't a budget announced. Because I think that'd be too embarrassing.
No, I'm gonna look it up.
But let's just looking at the track record. I think it's safe to say 200 million at the very least.
For this?
Yeah, for this.
I would
wouldn't
not be
see
shocked
there's
if they
a
said
lot of
200 million or
CGI.
like $5.
Oh yeah.
It does look bad though, especially with without the dwarfs. I see.
Oh, yeah,
saw
because
that
we saw the behind the scenes stuff of them in the field, like Snow White and the 7 magical people, or whatever the
Remember,
fuck they're called
chat,
now.
inclusion means exclusion. No more dwarves.
Oh no, they have Mark Webb directing this. Man,
Yeah.
what a stain on his career.
Wait, is Mark Webb the guy that made the TASM movies?
Yes.
He'll
And
be,
he made
he'll be
he made
fine.
he made
He'll be
500 Days of
fine.
Summer too. 500
Oh, that's
Days of
true. He did
Summer
do
too.
that.
Yeah.
What's more disappointing is this just makes all women look bad now. This furthers that kind of gender conversation divide that's happening as well. Because right now, all of the women that are spearheading projects in Hollywood are not doing a fucking good job. I honestly can't think of one. Maybe Emily Blunt, because she's blunt
Yeah,
about
she's
everything
awesome.
she thinks, right?
Yeah.
But in terms of like showrunners, directors, writers, all they're putting out is this feminist garbage that literally appeals to no one.
Greta Gerwig is the one that's writing this. I didn't
Yeah,
know
she
that.
did the screenplay for this, so you can guarantee there'll be
God.
some bright spark who comes out after the fact and says, "No, it's not shit. It's satirical."
True.
It's gonna be shit.
Yeah, it is.
Disappointing. Disappointing.
I hope there's a Ken. Imagine. Hey, wait, can the prince just be Ryan Gosling? Please. He just shows up. He's like, "Yo, I do beach."
I mean, someone in the chat said Jenna Ortega. Just look at the difference between Rachel Zegler and Jenna Ortega. Basically the same, Hispanic heritage and the same age. But just look at how good Jenna Ortega is compared to
Yeah,
this
Jenna
bitch.
Ortega actually cares about the projects that she works on.
Yeah.
I actually haven't seen her in anything yet.
Also,
I'll
I
bet
didn't
you-
watch
Oh.
Wednesday.
So
I bet you
No.
the evil queen is going to turn out good in the end, because that's
Yes,
what happens
because-
to all
Probably.
these
Yeah,
Listen,
they're making all the villains relatable now for
Yeah.
some fucking reason.
female villains. Yeah,
quirky.
yeah.
Yeah, the
Listen,
male
I would
villains
not
are
be.
always-
I would not be against the race swap if it was Jenna Ortega as Snow White.
Oh, for sure.
I'm just.
I mean, it's
Bro.
Jenna Ortega, man.
Well, she
Bro.
probably wouldn't make a big deal out of it either. You know?
Yeah.
It's Jenna Ortega, man.
Oh,
Jesus.
bro, put her as
Samuel Jackson.
put her as the witch woman. Jenna Ortega as the witch, bro.
I mean,
Amen.
I mean,
yeah,
I'm still of the mind that it's race swapping characters and etc. That's not what bothers me at all. It's
Yeah,
what
no.
it is when it's clearly the forefront, and that's like the whole point of why
It's
you're
done
doing it.
for one reason and one reason only.
Right, it's why
They're
you're
good.
doing it.
Yeah.
And like if you're hiring the best actor, like we're gonna talk about later, Vex, in a movie that you don't like.
I fucking hate it. Oh my god, I watched it yesterday and I can't, bro. I can't. Oh my god.
Because I love it. Because I
Don't
watched
worry,
it too,
Cynic,
and it's
I'll
great.
be in the comments defending you.
But no, the actor who plays Commissioner Gordon in the
Jeffrey
Batman,
Wright.
yeah, Jeffrey Wright, he's fucking great for that role.
Yep.
Yeah, I
thought he
didn't
was great
care
the
for
role.
the race swap because they don't put a lens on it at all.
Right, they didn't put a lens on it. They just hired someone who's really good for Gordon.
Exactly.
I don't believe in race swapping, I must admit, for any, especially today on any occasion. Because again, I would say this for the cheap seats, they're basically saying that Black people are not worthy of creating new characters for.
Yeah.
That's basically what they're saying.
Yeah.
I mean, it could just be like they're just like, who's the best guy? It's this guy. What
Yeah,
is he?
but
Is he
go
black?
back.
I don't
Yeah, go back 20 years. That's what they were doing. But now it's all.
I mean, I still
political,
think
isn't
they
it?
do that sometimes. It's obviously
Yeah,
not like
sometimes
the
maybe.
main
I
thing.
don't know.
Like, I'll talk about Jenna Ortega again. Like, there's nobody else that could have played Wednesday better than her in that role. I think. Just, like, take age into account. Like anyone else, like Rachel Zegler can't play.
Can't play anyone, honestly.
She can't play anyone.
And Nick Fury was originally a white character, and no one thinks of Nick Fury as a white character anymore because they hired someone who was fucking perfect for the role. And despite Secret Invasion, he's he is that character. So,
but it was in the comics. They swapped. They actually drew the character like Samuel L. Jackson.
No, I know it was in the Ultimate Universe that they did that. So
Yeah,
it was like they could make the excuse. But then he became so popular that they replaced him in the regular Marvel universe with Nick Fury.
They did it for
White
the right
Nick Fury
reasons.
is kind of a loser.
Though.
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. What I'm saying
I
is,
looked at some of this stuff. Lame.
They did it for the right reasons, though, didn't they? It wasn't the politics weren't playing so heavy.
Yeah, and exactly.
Yeah, but
that's
today I don't believe in race swapping at all because every time they do it is for a political
right. And unfortunately, they do it so much because of political reasons that any time they do it, that's just automatically what you're going to think is the reason behind it too. So
yeah, they did it.
Anyone benefit of the doubt.
The guy who made Invincible, the show, he came on. He's like, "Oh, I had to race swap characters," and I'm like, "Bro, your show's great. Stop trying to virtue signal." Like, bro, please stop.
They made the most unlikable character black, so I don't know.
Yeah. So what does that make it? What does that make the creators look like? Huh? Yes. Oh, great. Thank God. What's her name? I forget it every time.
I forget, man. I just hope she dies in season 2. To be honest,
Amber. Ugh, I hate Amber. I just hope she's just thrown into a building and the blood splatters throughout the entirety of the first story.
And then we get the title card. Yep.
The title card, it's just her face bloody and smeared on the title card.
I'd be so happy.
Yeah, and then it's just Eve and Invincible hanging out. That would be great.
I mean, politics were everywhere back then. That's the thing. Even
politics
in,
are everywhere.
Even in movies, man. Everything. Well, look at the 80s, man. Everything was Russians. Were always the villains.
Pop culture, right? It's all downstream. It's all relative, but it wasn't so obvious as it is now. That's the problem.
No, and normally they're wrapped around good stories. They're not anymore.
There's sort of two elements to that. The first is there's a difference between being able to read something politically and that thing being overtly political itself. And we've really swayed the balance much more toward overtly political art as opposed to simply political readings of art. So that's the difference between old Star Trek and new Star Trek is one is trying to get you to think for yourself and the other one is trying to tell you what to think. And then the other one of that is that so not only have we've swayed the balance in that direction, but also the politics are so much less serious now. And so it's more overt when they're included. At least back in the 1980s, you could say it's universally acknowledged no matter what side you're on. The Cold War is a serious moral political question. And so obviously art is going to tackle that in its various different ways. Whereas now you hear someone like Rachel Zegler come out and basically say, yeah, well, I'm in it because I'm a woman and women are great and representation matters. And I'm thinking, well, okay, but what's the point? Like, why? Why is that true?
Women. And
that's
women. Well, yeah, it's tautological. It matters because it matters. It matters because it matters. Women matter because women are women. And then you try to say, well, okay, but why do you need to see yourself in this particular role in this particular way? Like, what's your undergirding ideology? Do you have one? And it's nothing. It's just pure selfishness and individualism. Like, she would actually be a great. Like, I would not mind a race swap if they had cast her as the Queen in Snow White, because her character perfectly matches the Queen's. Like, she is incredibly narcissistic to the point of destroying everything around her. Like, that's a really, really good casting. Why not just swap them? But no.
Platoon, you should really see the Oscars video when she goes up there on stage, the way she speaks. Even the co-host that's with her it's the really, really tall dude from Euphoria. I think his name is like Jacob Elordi or something. And like he was fed up with her. You could tell just by looking at him.
I had no idea this was a thing. I'm gonna have to look
Quite
it up.
surprised you watched the Oscars in the first place.
Well, it was the only Oscars that I actually watched since 2013. So
wow.
Oh, why'd you watch it?
Well, when I watched it, I think like that was the one where Will Smith got slapped. So I'm glad I watched it.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah, that was a
yes.
good Oscars, to be fair.
Didn't have to watch it because it was all over YouTube the next morning.
I saw it live.
And the other thing about the her like just being like, oh, it's not about love anymore. It's about being like better than that.
Power,
But it's like, if you look at movies that have male protagonists, a love story is somewhere in there. And if you take that out, then like it gets rid of some of the depth to the character and the overall story.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, when you take out the romance, so the whole point of Snow White was to show that vanity is basically not worth it, and just being a good person is what will carry you through life eventually, right? So by taking out the relationship, which is a really big part to Snow White kind of overcoming her evil stepmother and whatnot, you're left with essentially nothing at all, because now you know that Snow White is no longer just trying to be a decent person. There's a power hungry goal now, which you normally wouldn't associate with what Snow White is representative of, which is innocence.
Yep.
Yeah,
right?
even look at like Spider-Man, like the MCU Spider-Man movies, like
not Lotus.
Peter Parker. No. Well, you could even I mean, you could throw that in the bunch, but Peter Parker in the MCU movies is like obsessed with love throughout the trilogy. In first, it's the one chick who ends up being Vulture's daughter, and that's a big conflict for her. And then in Far From Home, he's obsessed with asking out MJ to be his girlfriend, and then in the third one he gives up love to save them. So like that, like love is filled in narratives across the board, and it's like you get rid of that, it gets rid of the like depth to like enjoying a character. Like if a character is loveless, then why should we love them?
It takes away the human element, and that's the it's a problem that all of these feminist movies have, is they're trying to deconstruct this whole you need romance, you need a man to be in your life in order to be satisfied. Sometimes they for some reason replace it with lesbianism, which is basically the same thing, right? But I don't understand what is so wrong about having a healthy, good relationship. It's okay when men want romance in a film, but when women want it, it's considered demoralizing and weak, and it's no longer a necessity. Like, man, fuck this movie. I can't wait for this dumpster fire to come out.
Don't worry, we'll make so much money off of this.
It also erodes the fundamental distinction, which is always the distinction in almost any work of narrative art between heroes and villains. The main distinction between heroes and villains ultimately comes down to what do you value most, love or power? Villains lust for power, and heroes want love. And that's what they fight for. Like, it's the thing that underpins the Lord of the Rings. It's love of your friends. It's love of place. It's love of home. It's love of everything. Yeah. And it's Sauron and Saruman who are corrupted by their lustful want for power. So if you remove that from Snow White, not only are you breaking the basic plot structure, but you are also basically killing the character. There's no real fundamental difference between a Snow White who lusts for power and a queen who lusts for power through beauty. There's no moral difference between those
these are the super villain origin stories that people have been mocking with the MCU. Like, every time they're introducing these replacement characters, they normally have it. Their desire to be a hero is for all the wrong reasons, and we mock them by saying, like, that's a fucking super villain origin story over here. Like, Riri Williams, who is the character of Ironheart, her comic book origin is her begging to be victimized by her teacher, who refuses to do so. She keeps like begging her teacher to tell her that she's not going to be able to become something. She's like, no, it's fucking like 2018 or whatever. You can become whatever you want now. It doesn't matter what your gender or race is. And she's like, no, tell me. And she finally goes, fine, you'll never be Tony Stark. And she goes,
I feel like that's an embodiment of the writer just being like, I need things to happen.
I mean, look at something like a character like Syndrome. They gave him an origin story in one scene. That was it. And you could understand everything. Today's writers can't even do that in an entire movie.
I think caring and loving someone in a movie does make you care about that main character, because it shows you got emotion and compassion. I mean, just going back what Vex said, there was a film called Show Me Love. It was called Show Me Love here, but in its native country it's called Fucking a Meal, right? So and that was a lesbian love story, and I saw that film and I really enjoyed it. So you can have a really good lesbian love story, I guess.
Oh, I'm not even disagreeing with that point. It's the fact that when there is a female romance involved, it's only promoting lesbian ones as opposed to hetero ones. Right? They seem to be doing that swap over and over and over again, and the weird part is they just swap them out with butch lesbians anyways. So I don't understand.
Listen, butch lesbians can be hot. Have you ever seen Vi from Arcane? Oh. Amen, brother.
I do love romance movies, and as I said, I don't understand why these people are against motherhood and romance and families, and I just don't understand where they're coming from. How could you be against that stuff? That's the stuff that makes life work.
Yeah,
right?
Because all it is a backlash against what it's a pendulum swing. It's a 180 everything, right? So if the stereotypical woman is a woman who is the 1950s trope and she stays home and takes care of the kids and doesn't work, well, that means that's what's tying women down. So the only thing to do now is to be what men do, and you have to work and you seek power, and I cannot have children because that is a sign of weakness and a sign of motherhood, and for whatever reason that's considered a bad thing. And maybe in like 10 more years, it'll settle down in the middle somewhere where women can, in these films, it cannot be written like essentially men with vaginas.
Men don't have vaginas.
That's a very transphobic comment you just made there.
Oh dear.
You get us cancelled now.
Oh dear. It's ridiculous.
You know what I noticed with these movies too, just on the political front, is the difference between how it used to be and how it is now. The political messaging, like I said earlier, was like always wrapped around in typically good storytelling. And now it's super overt, and it's kind of I don't know if you guys watch stand-up comedy, but I compare it to that, where bad stand-up comedians will get very political, and it's what other comedians call clapter and not actual laughter that they'll evoke out of the audience, because they'll say something that is a virtue signal and it'll get the audience to clap, but they don't actually say anything funny. There's no actual substance to the art form that they're participating in. And that's kind of like what's happening now in movies, like the movie equivalent of that, which is there's no actual good storytelling. There's no actual substance, but they'll virtue signal on the red carpet, and they'll virtue signal in the casting and in the script, and everything's very overt. And it's to elicit people. It's to elicit emotions out of people that think, oh, that has a political message, so that means it's good.
It's funny. It's also oppressively current as well. Everything is obsessively modern, present day. So it will be, again, really interesting to sit down with Rachel Zegler, and if you can tolerate her speaking for 5 minutes, then ask her, why is it you think that the original Snow White is still being remade today in 2023? And do you think that your remake will be being remade in 100 years' time? Because I don't know if she understands what makes the original timeless to begin with. And part of that is to do with this obsessive current political messaging. And to be fair, some of the older 80s stuff also had this problem. The least timely ones, the least timeless ones are by definition the most time-sensitive ones. So when the first Rambo film comes out, you can say, well, I understand that this is the basic Cold War story, but it has enough in it that makes it still kind of enjoyable today. When Rambo then later goes on to thank the brave fighters of the Mujahideen in Afghanistan, then you can kind of say, yeah, maybe the film is hamstrung by its political messaging just a little bit there, because you've made it so very, very context relative. But this Snow White thing is the same. Like, if you inject all of this very current day political trend into this film, and you discard everything that made you want to remake the film to begin with, then don't be surprised when this one just fades away and isn't remembered by anyone after about 6 months.
But that's the thing you see with movies, especially today's movies. You don't care about any of the characters at all. There's always one bit in the movie that makes you care and go, that character, you're on that character's side. I give you an example, right? Not this Mission Impossible movie, but the last Mission Impossible movie. It wasn't because that he loved the girl in that film, the main character. When I actually warmed to him is when he randomly saved that policewoman. I don't know if you remember that scene in the film.
Yeah,
when the policewoman, when he saved her, you know what I mean? When he literally saved her from those 3 guys that were going to kill her. That's when I thought, you know what? Ethan Hunt, he's a righteous dude, man. Yeah, I want to be on his side. You know what I mean?
Righteous dude, man.
Yeah, there's always one bit in the film that makes you go, yeah, you know, that's the personal, but that's the side. And these modern films, they don't have it. They don't have those little bits. They're little nuggets of good stuff. They don't have it because they're too busy.
There's
they have no
heart
heart.
anymore.
Yeah, completely. Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. Anyway.
Mic drop on that situation here.
Yeah.
Well,
fuck
any
Zegler.
yeah, say any last words on her? Yeah, there we go. I like that.
I mean, she's giving us plenty of material for when the film comes out and the reviews come out. I mean, we've got a lot to be going back to, so we can have a lot of fun with her. But until then, we'll have to suffer her.
10 minutes of just her talking and then start the review.
I finally heard rumors that, considering race swaps and everything like that, I finally heard rumors that they're trying to make a live action Princess and the Frog. So,
yeah, Lupita Nyong'o or whatever.
Nyong'o.
Sorry, my bad. Which is funny because I saw that. I'm like, oh, do I risk getting banned on Twitter? Because I was like, oh, it's okay for a black princess for a black role.
They're gonna make it white.
God forbid that you maybe put a Colombian in there or a Hispanic girl in there. You know,
they're gonna make her white. That's what they're gonna do.
But it's totally okay that the black princess gets a black actress. That's how these rules work. Fuck Hollywood, man. Goodness gracious. It's ridiculous because I'm technically speaking, I'm the type of person that this kind of shit should appeal to. And if anything, it turns me off not only movies, but movies with females in it to see this kind of shit. Because you're telling me that all the stuff I grew up with as a girl, which is to treasure those around you, to be polite, to be respectful, to show gratefulness. All that's just thrown out the window just for vanity points, just so I can throw my fucking skin color at an employer and be like, oh, you fired me because I'm brown? It's ridiculous. Like
victim mentality.
Yeah, you've reduced everything that I could have been to one singular thing, and it's something that really doesn't even matter. Like it's mind-boggling to me that people are just eating this shit up. And I say that as someone who grew up in a completely white town up north as a kid. It didn't bug me then. It hasn't bugged me now.
Well, it's victim mentality and also like just feeding into basic human stuff. For example, there's always an excuse so you can never say I wasn't good enough, but you can say it's because of this. So you have your scapegoat easily. And everyone here on the panel probably they do something where, you know, they blame something else instead of blaming themselves and taking accountability sometimes. And it can just be like a small thing like, you're having a cheat meal or something like that, you know, be like, oh, don't worry, it's not my fault. It just happened, something like that. And that's what you're giving everyone free scapegoats. And since you don't have to take accountability for everything and you can just blame someone else and the world will work in your favor nowadays, which is horrible, which is why we're growing up with people that are all narcissistic. All these people are just annoying little brats, basically.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What about the mixed race people like me? When I was younger, I couldn't get into the BBC because I wasn't black enough.
Not black enough.
Ridiculous.
Yeah. Black enough.
Or wasn't what is it, upper class or middle class, because that's in England they have the class system here. You know, it's ridiculous, isn't it? Now it's even worse. I can't get anything because of my age and also because of the color of my skin. How are we progressing? We're not progressing. We're going backwards, aren't we?
Yeah,
you missed the trick. All you need to do is turn up at the BBC, say I'm gay, and they'll make your wedding representative.
No, bonus points. Just say you're trans. There you go. Put some lipstick on. That's all you really need to prove that.
I tick all like job application button like forms when I still used to fill those in. I just ticked other for everything. It's like race, other, sexuality, other, disability, other. Would you like to elaborate? No.
Other.
I really despise where this culture is going, and I'm really upset that women are eating this up. I know, like, psychologically they're a lot more easier to manipulate, and that's why shit like Barbie is making $1 billion. But honestly, it's really fucking disappointing that this is what I have to aspire to or look up to in film for women. Really fucking disappointing. On that note,
well,
speaking of disappointing women, the Marvels is coming up, isn't it?
oh,
that is
from one brownie to another. God damn it!
It's going to be interesting, isn't it? It's going to be very interesting to see
Yeah,
what happens
so
with that movie.
the Marvels director, she recently came out and said that
more stuff.
this sequel is going to distinguish itself from all other Marvel movies because it's going to be silly and wacky.
It's going to have a translation. It's going to have no humor, a few vagina jokes, something about the patriarchy, and a lot of brown references to, cater to that audience. There
This gives me a lot of "I'm not like the other girls" type vibes.
Yeah, the pick me girls. Yeah.
I don't understand how
retweeted it
anyone
today,
can say that. Like, I can only assume that the person who said it hasn't watched any of the recent Marvel films.
Which
Because you can't
makes
look
sense.
at Thor: Love and Thunder and say, you know what the problem with that film was? It was just too serious.
It was too gritty.
It was.
Well,
It went black and white. It was too
no one
gritty.
who makes a Marvel product nowadays has any clue about any previous Marvel products. So this is right in line with that. Because if anyone watched Secret Invasion, that writer and the writers and the director had no fucking clue about what happened in previous Marvel movies. Because that entire show contradicts
crazy.
a million things that's happened in the past.
Yeah, it's crazy how much people who are hired that just don't care. Like, so because I watched Andor and then I'm like, who made this? This is interesting. And then I started watching a bunch of interviews with Tony Gilroy, who made it. And he's talking about like, oh yeah, I really had to do my research. I went on Wikipedia. I made sure everything was in line. I watched all the stuff that I was needed. And I was like making food and I stopped in my tracks and I just looked at my phone and I said, oh my God, he cared. And it's like, when do you see that ever? Like, it's so crazy. And then he gave me Andor and I was like, thank you. And then this show's probably going to get canceled because no one's watching it, which is sad.
Yep. And every other Marvel project is wacky and silly, or tries to be anyway. I mean,
that's been Marvel's meta. It's the thing that almost everyone complains about. Even people who don't go in for any of the sort of the culture war stuff will still find ways to complain about Marvel humor because it's pretty universally acknowledged to be terrible and universal. But now there are rare exceptions. I mean, from what little I saw of Secret Invasion, it didn't seem like the kind of wacky fare that we're used to seeing.
No, it was
but
just
the exception
terrible.
kind of proves the rule in that sense.
There was one joke that I liked. I think it was but it was just Samuel L. Jackson being Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah.
He was like, it was the first episode. He's sitting in the chair and he's like, I won't shoot you. I mean, I might shoot you. And that was like,
yeah,
that
was like and that's Samuel L. Jackson. That's
and then I liked the joke where I forget the character's name, but the Skrull friend was like, what was your midlife crisis shopping spree? And he's just like, the Avengers. And I was like, hey, good movie.
Hey,
That was nice. That was a nice touch. But
we're going to have to watch that now, aren't we? Because they've ditched the idea that you wouldn't have to watch the Disney Plus shows to understand the MCU. But I'm assuming that Nick Fury, as we've just seen him in... Well, we haven't seen him. I didn't watch it. But as the two people who watched Secret Invasion have just seen him, that Nick Fury is going to be the Nick Fury we get in the Marvels. So to understand why he's there, what he is, why his personality has changed, we are supposed to go back, I assume, and watch Secret Invasion.
Probably. What's weird is in Spider-Man Far From Home, which was the second movie in the trilogy, at the end of that, you see him in the space station, right? And in the Marvels trailer, you see him in his space station. Secret Invasion,
you don't really need to.
Right, you don't really need to because he seems all cleaned up. In the Marvels trailer, like he looks like normal Nick Fury. And Secret Invasion, he looks like a old dried up turd. Like
that's racist. How dare you?
Oh, right, because he's black. Whatever. Shut up.
Die.
You know what that just reminded me of? Just a segue here. In one of my Rings of Power videos, like toilet humor is like my go-to style of humor. So I say shit and poop a lot. and I said something looked
How
like
dare you.
shit, and like I was editing myself at the time, so I just like took chunks of clips, and it just so happened one time I said the word shit, something looked like shit. I was like, it apparently the edit was over Black Legolas, and comments were like, "You fucking did that on purpose, you racist."
Bro. Thank God Bagface showed up.
That is some BDE right there.
Is Bagface in the dungeon? I assume so.
Oh,
Well,
my
he somehow
God.
escaped to go over to the Cannolis channel the other day. And just popped up on their stream, and I was just sitting there in the chat thinking, "Wait, I thought you were downstairs, but apparently not."
He streamed 2 times a week. It was crazy.
It was crazy.
He's not allowed to do that.
Shit, I don't even remember what we were talking about now.
The Marvels,
Marvels.
and Secret
Yeah,
Invasion.
whatever.
We were, to be fair, we were talking about Secret Invasion, which is then completely understandable why you would digress as quickly as possible, and then forget what we were originally talking about. But
It took me
the
like
Marvels.
4 days to write a 4,000 word video essay on that because I hated it so much. I was trying to,
Dude.
I was finding anything to distract me from writing about Secret Invasion.
I was surprised you managed to get a 20-minute video. There was so little that happened in that
Well,
show.
once I finally broke out of the shell, so to speak, and was just hating on it, it was really easy. Like once I actually wrote my outline, I'm like, I actually have like solid 10,000 words to say about how much I fucking hate this show, and I broke it down to 20-minute video instead.
Man, Secret Invasion sucked.
It sucks so
Yeah.
much.
Didn't bother watching it.
I
you're
I
saving
watched the
yourself.
first episode, then I got the ending made me mad when they killed off Maria Hill, and then I 2 weeks ago I was like, man, should I finish this? I might make a review. And then I watched the second episode on my second monitor while playing a video game, and I still got bored. So
Wait,
that's how it
isn't
went
it
for
a
me.
little bit? Isn't it a little bit weird though that this Marvels movie is apparently wacky and silly, but they preface it with what is supposed to be a take back to like the Winter Soldier kind of MCU filmmaking? 'Cause I don't remember the other TV shows quite doing that because they had the same consistent tone between the shows and the movies, right? If you look at Doctor Strange 2, for example, and WandaVision. So doesn't that say quite a bit though, right there, that you're doing super serious and now this is supposed to be wacky and funny?
It's
What are you
tonal
doing?
whiplash is what
Listen,
that is.
it's quirky and new.
Oh,
She's not like
women.
the other girls.
I mean, they don't even know what they're doing over there on Marvel anyway. So, and people don't even bother. Like as Andrew said, at least Tony Gilroy cared about making his own research. The people that are in charge now, it's like, oh, don't read this. They're just like, okay, sure, I won't.
Okay, sure.
Yeah,
Less
they don't
work
even
for me.
bother.
Hey, perfect.
It's so weird. And plus,
I liked in one of
these
the
fucking-
interviews, Tony Gilroy made fun of he indirectly made fun of people at Lucasfilm and Star and Marvel for not doing their research. He was like, "Oh yeah, I actually cared about this" or something like that. And then he was like, "It annoys me when people don't do their due diligence." And I was like, "Oh my god, he's literally me."
I mean, Brie Larson, maybe she can cook up something, maybe be a bit comedic because she was good in Scott Pilgrim versus the World, and that was the
Like
last time she
13
was
years
funny.
ago.
Yeah, that's the last time she was funny. That's it.
She did pretty good in United States of Terror. I don't know if anyone watched that show. That was kind of her breakout. That's how I discovered her. But she was kind of like the quirky, funny teenage daughter, and she worked that role really well. She's a good actress. She's just an insufferable person is her problem.
I think the more and more she's gotten ingrained into Hollywood, she's become more and more just bad. Because when Captain Marvel first came out, I'm like, man, she just didn't do anything. And then people are like, oh my god, watch the Unicorn Store. She's so good in it. And I watched it, and I'm like, bro, what is this? That was terrible.
Absolute rubbish. That
I
was.
mean, the first time that I saw her was in a movie called Short Term 12 from like 2013. And yeah, she was in 21 Jump Street too.
She was, yep. First one.
Come on, man. Yeah. Well, 21. 21.
Oh yeah,
Jump Street.
21. Sorry, the second one was 22. I forgot that.
22.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she was in Fast X. Like she had a minor role, which was fine, I guess. She didn't really do anything, but she wasn't unlikable. But it was that face, man. She just has a constant resting bitch face nowadays. You can't get past.
That's what
the issue.
liberalism does to you, man. That's what it does.
She's got bad feet though.
Let's not go there. Poor Matt was traumatized yesterday.
Yeah, he was.
Also, with the Marvels, the only thing casual audiences would know about it is that Captain Marvel's in it, and no one likes that. Like, the only person on that cast that I would say is like serviceable as a character would be Miss Marvel.
I liked her in her TV show.
The teenager?
Yeah.
The girl.
But also that's because
playing a 15-year-old?
Well, yeah, and I think the actress for her has more charisma than any of the other actresses on that cast.
Actually, I agree with you. Yeah, I do agree with you.
Because she is somewhat enjoyable in her show.
Well, who plays I forgot, the one that says they'll never know what she sacrificed, man.
Monica Rambeau.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Like the actress, she was in the new John Boyega movie on Netflix with Jamie Foxx. Like they cloned Tyrone.
Oh, I need to see that.
She was actually like enjoyable in that. Like it was fine, but it's just when they get these Marvel scripts, they just act like bitches. Sorry to say it. Like, yeah.
I mean, female director as well, which doesn't help, right? So we're not getting a whole lot to work with.
Who is directing? Let me check.
Some unknown woman.
Nia
yeah,
Oh no.
Who?
Nia DaCosta. She made the Candyman reboot. Absolutely god awful.
But you can see what they're doing, can't you? Because no real, as I say in quotations, real directors will direct Marvel films anymore because they know what they're gonna get. So now they're just scraping the barrel, aren't they?
Yeah, she literally has 3 movies behind her name. One in
they've been doing that for a while.
Wasn't Cocaine Bear directed by a woman?
Yeah,
Elizabeth Banks.
Elizabeth Banks.
Yeah, but Elizabeth Banks has a big career.
Yeah.
She shot herself in the foot by blaming men for everything.
Cocaine Bear is peak cinema.
Hey, Cocaine Bear was a goofy, fun movie.
I like that movie.
I did too. I recommend it.
I wanted good. Like that movie was so stupid, but I love it.
I wanted more Cocaine Bear. There wasn't
shit.
enough of that.
Yeah, I hope there's. I think
Listen,
they're doing.
We're gonna get a cocaine shark soon, anyways. Like that's actually happening in the ocean right now.
Cocaine crabs is another one, and cocaine
crack raccoon.
Yeah, there we go.
We need like fentanyl bear now or something.
I highly recommend Zombievers if you guys.
Zombievers
sounds good.
It's wonderful.
Is incredible.
That is peak cinema right there.
I second that.
Of lethal animals, apparently Brie Larson isn't going to be in the Marvels as much as you might think. Not only because they've actually structured the film in a way to shift the focus away from her, but also because there's that cat, the name of which I can't remember. But apparently she's had to have a stunt double for every scene she's in which features the cat because she's so allergic to cats that she can't share the screen with it. So it will be a stunt double.
They CGI'd
apparently not in this one. There'll be a real cat, a real pussy in the Marvels.
Well, I thought the CGI for the cat in Captain Marvel was like the only compliment I gave it because I'm like, hey, that looks real sometimes. Good job.
Wait, so there was an opportunity to kill Brie Larson and nobody took it, is what you're telling me?
I honestly think that they're just gonna structure the movie around Miss Marvel.
100%.
She's the only likable person.
They know that nobody likes Brie Larson. That's why they've restructured what's happening moving forward, right? Because she was supposed to lead the Avengers.
Yeah, they signed her to a 9-picture deal.
Yeah.
Wow.
Also, have you guys seen that TikTok sketch where there's a guy playing Peter Parker and there's a woman playing Miss Marvel, and he has the what is it, the glove, and he goes, "Here, take the glove," and then she has to fly it to the van, and then Peter Parker says, "Well, why don't you just put it on, and click your fingers?" Why didn't she do that? That's the question in the film.
Oh yeah.
So why didn't she just? Because she's powerful enough to actually, to actually take the click. Yeah, but she didn't do it. It's weird.
That is true.
That's a flaw in the movie.
Dumb blonde moment.
Listen, she's blonde, it's Captain Marvel. That's why, because she's stupid.
But don't worry. She has the women behind her, so it's fine.
I just want to say, chat, I also am super excited for Godzilla -1. I'm seeing these pop up a lot, and fuck yes.
What is
that?
Animated?
You imagine yourself as Godzilla, though, don't you? So there you go.
Yeah, I love Godzilla. No, this is a Toho produced film. It's coming out in December.
Excellent.
And the Godzilla design looks amazing. And it looks like the
Incredible, man.
CGI for them is finally catching up to Hollywood standards, which is
Yeah.
Sorry, what's
something
it called again? Minus
it's called
one?
Godzilla minus one.
Okay.
Did they release a new trailer yet, or we still have just that?
I've only
30-second
seen
teaser?
just that 1 minute trailer, I think.
Mm.
Where you quickly get to see the design, but I saw the full 3D sculpt of the design, and it looks fucking amazing.
Oh, it looks
Oh
incredible.
yeah, this was on Twitter not too long ago. I remember trending.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
pretty
Toho
good.
making a Godzilla
See,
movie,
chat
man.
knows.
What are your thoughts on the Roland Emmerich Godzilla, man?
Dude, when I was a little kid, I wanted to love it so much. It came out when I was like 11 years old, and they hid the Godzilla design, right?
Yeah.
In the marketing. So when I saw it when I was a little kid, it was just like this repeated 5 years later when the Matrix Reloaded and Revolutions came out. I lied to myself to tell myself it was good. And then years later I finally was like,
oh no, as a kid that
movie's
movie
such a piece
slapped.
of shit. Which one?
The 1998 one with
The 98 with Matthew
Broderick.
Broderick as Nick
There we go.
Tatopoulos. And
Yep.
that was like that was the running joke throughout the movie was like people couldn't pronounce his name right.
Nick Tatopoulos.
But
Nick
as a kid, though,
Tatopoulos.
as a kid, you'd really enjoy that film. I know most of my brothers, younger, they enjoyed it. They thought it was a lot of fun. So,
It was one of the first films I ever saw, and I really enjoyed it when I was like 2.
Yeah, when I was a little kid, I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
Then you go and rewatch it. I still find that I still enjoy it, but I wouldn't say it was in any way good.
Oh no. I like it because of all the callbacks to Jurassic Park with like the raptors and the big
yeah,
dogs.
it was totally made during the period of Jurassic Park because the baby Godzillas looked like raptors.
Yep,
exactly.
yep.
They moved like raptors. But Campbell Patterson. I'm 36 actually.
Oh my god.
Roland Emmerich actually cast the mayor in that Godzilla film is Mayor Ebert.
Yes, and
Roger Ebert because he really fucking hated him because he gave all his bad reviews. So he cast him as this fat, lecherous, sweet, scoffing mayor who was completely useless.
And the mayor's assistant's name was Gene. Because it was Gene Siskel and Roger Ebert were the two critics. Yeah.
And they actually got mad at Roland Emmerich for it on their show, but it was so funny.
I can't wait for the next villain in Rings of Power to just be named Platoon.
I'm really looking forward to that. I was expecting She-Hulk season 2, but apparently that's not happening anymore. But
what?
Oh.
But, you know,
not?
Wait, what?
She-Hulk season 2.
Oh, that's
She-Hulk season 2 is just Velma season 2.
True. I mean, She-Hulk had Doomcock in it, so I was hoping, a second season of She-Hulk, and I might get a little run out. But my agent has not been approached, so I'm assuming by that it is not happening.
I hope it does.
I really do.
I want it
be great
to.
fun.
It's just a British guy, and it's just like this would never happen, and then it just moves on.
Shin Godzilla was awesome. I bought it twice because I bought they sell it separately obnoxiously. One the dubbed version and one the subtitled version. They make you buy it separately.
Why do you have the dubbed one?
It's too big.
I just wanted to see it dubbed. And it helps when I'm like I enjoy having movies on when I'm working and I can't like really watch them. I half listen to them. So I can't really listen to, subtitled version of Shin Godzilla.
You ever seen The Lake? It's a new Taiwanese monster movie. It
Is
came
that
out
the
not
one
too
with
long
the
ago.
giant crocodile? I think it is.
It's a lake monster, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard of it. That's on my to watch list right now.
Yeah, you should watch it, man. It's
I like those
interesting.
kind of movies.
Yeah, same.
Well, shit. Any more words on the Marvels? We've really got off topic because
there's not much to say about
Box
it.
office predictions. What do you
$1
guys
billion.
think?
$1 billion.
100 million at most, I think.
So like I wasn't really on the internet when the first Captain Marvel came out, and what was the discourse when it came out in terms of word to mouth? Because it still made $1 billion,
So the problem with Captain Marvel was, so a lot of people, it made a lot of money and it got a lot of hype because it was right before, was it before Endgame or was it before? Yeah.
It was
So
before, yeah.
everyone thought, like, because all of the other movies were tying in so nicely, oh, I got to go see this one. And then as soon as everyone saw it, they were like, what the fuck was even the point of this? Because they introduced new villains, the Skrulls, which we'd never seen before. We already more or less knew where the Endgame arc was going to go. And on top of that, Captain Marvel was basically just like, she was marketed as a girl power thing. And they had that god awful like scene where they played I'm Just a Girl in the background by No Doubt. But so a lot of people are like, okay, she's basically Superman. She's got no weaknesses. She can fight everyone. And then there was a whole controversy that a lot of people were going to the theaters, but theaters weren't full at all. Like, it would show that it was filled to the brim, basically online, but nobody was showing up in theaters. And if I remember correctly, there were receipts proving that Disney was buying some of those theater seats to boost the hype around it. I don't remember if that was confirmed or not.
Rumor, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that was
I
kind
did
of
that for the Flash.
The most recent one?
Yeah, I think they did that for the Flash.
What other one is there?
What do you mean?
Well, the Flash. You said the most recent one. Which other one do you know of?
They did it. I think they did that with the Little Mermaid too.
Yeah, I think the Little Mermaid was the other one that was rumored as well.
You'd think if they were doing that though, they would have hoped for a bigger box office take than the Flash.
Yeah,
well, they're giving money to themselves anyways, so
and not even very much apparently. So good job.
But yeah, it was the timing is the only reason why Captain Marvel appeared to be successful. Because
word of mouth didn't affect any of that, like, or wasn't that big at the time?
I wasn't on the internet at the time either, but it was one of the first films because 2019 that came out, and so that was sort of the really early days. That was that and The Last Jedi, sort of from my experience of sort of just perusing YouTube at the time, are the things that kicked off a lot of the current culture war divide over treatments of film with prominent women in them, for example. So you had like hysterical lunatics like Brown Table saying that no, it's all like Captain Marvel was being sexually harassed, don't you know? Sexual harassment. And it was one of Morda's first big ones. I think wasn't it Drinker's first big video as well?
Yeah, Captain Marvel kicked off Drinker's channel for sure.
Yeah, so there was an intense amount of interest in it, but that interest, in my experience, did tend to side in the sort of the critical appraisal of the film as opposed to the defense of the film, which is why it's not got, for all the amount of money it made, it doesn't have a strong reputation at all.
Yeah.
All right. So box office predictions for the Marvels?
100 million at most, because it's got Dune to compete with.
Oh
yeah, and it's being kicked out of IMAX for Dune, so that's very funny.
That is a
Oppenheimer
thing.
Isn't Oppenheimer about to be kicked out of?
No, they've
IMAX
got 7 or
because
8 weeks booked.
They
for
still got
IMAX.
7 or 8 weeks.
My
I know
They
Blue
were
Beetle
clever.
is advertising as IMAX, so I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah, they were clever. They secured because they actually used
100 days.
IMAX cameras and stuff like that. They were quite clever in securing a lot of screens. So
yeah,
very clever.
I'm not really sure like Dune is going to make that much money, to be honest.
I don't know. I think Dune 2 will make more than Dune 1. I think interest in Dune is increasing because the first film was a slow burn, but it has gone up in people's estimations because it's a serious film that treats the subject matter seriously.
It's a
it
banger.
doesn't take the piss, and it's actually a pretty good film. Yeah, though most of the action is saved obviously for this second part, but I think that will be probably the premiere film out at that particular time. So I wouldn't be surprised if that did end up making quite a bit. What did Ant-Man make in the end? Was that 360?
That made a little over 400 million. The latest one, a little over 400 million, which is god awful.
It's shit,
Yeah,
but I mean, but it's high. I don't know. I would be surprised if if the Marvels only made 100. I would say probably more like 250 to 350, somewhere like that.
No, I would say it's probably going to land in the Ant-Man range. Something is itching at me to say there's curiosity with people to see how shitty it's going to be. It does feel like there's a perception that the movie's just going to be awful. And I wonder if that'll actually get some people out to the theaters. Not like in, Black Panther 2 numbers or Guardians numbers, but
well, like the only issue I have or to counter that a little bit is it'll just be on Disney Plus in a month. So why would I want to fork out the money?
Well, also the second trailer that came out, I think like 3 weeks ago. The second trailer was actually looked pretty decent.
That should have been the first trailer. I think we discussed it here when it came out. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a pretty good trailer. I must admit.
And also on the Dune front, I'm sure the second one's going to make more money than the first one anyway, because if we remember, the first movie was a simultaneous release on HBO Max and in theaters.
Oh yeah, I keep forgetting that.
I remember. I think it was Denis Villeneuve who said that he regretted doing that because it hurt the film. And also, I just think that there's more hype around it because it was a really good movie that came out during COVID. So.
Why do you guys always mispronounce the Villeneuve? You always say Villeneuve.
Because we ain't French.
I don't feel like adding. I don't feel like adding another V. I'm American. I get rid of letters all the time.
We owe Jay Goodwin a spot on BSUP next week, I would say. I made a bet with him on the box office of Barbie, and I was dead fucking wrong.
What was your prediction for Barbie again?
Oh Christ! If I'm being completely transparent here, I remember my prediction about maybe 3 or 4 weeks ahead of release. I said it was going to open to like $40 million.
Oh wow!
But there's no way it's going to make $1 billion. I think those words.
Yeah, and I did say there was no way it's going to make $1 billion.
In the words of Ben Shapiro, it'll drop off in the first week, guaranteed.
Well, I was not stupid enough to suggest it was going to fall flat on its face after the opening weekend. I can tell you that.
Listen, fantastic advertisement coming from that film, though, wasn't it? Absolutely fantastic. The way they sold that film was very clever.
Yeah,
definitely. I mean, to see why it doesn't deserve to make $1 billion, obviously you can go and watch my review, which is still just sitting around
3 hours long,
performing strangely. It's 2.5 hours, 2.5 in this occasion.
It's his shortest video, if anything. Like,
well, it's on the shorter end, definitely.
Is it going to beat Mario? I think it's on. I think it already beat Mario.
No, it hasn't beat Mario yet.
I think,
but yeah,
I think it does it.
For sure. I mean, it still has a very strong hold, and it's probably going to be the highest grossing of the year.
Well,
for some reason, the studio with Mario was quick to get it to streaming. I don't know why. They didn't let it sit in theaters.
They didn't think it was going to be that big, though.
I was I was going to go see it, and then it just disappeared. I was like, oh,
yeah,
okay.
like 3
I'm not going to buy
weeks
streaming.
Yeah.
I tell you what, though, the kids loved it. I took my nieces to see it, and they saw it in 4XD, where the whole cinema shakes. And
I gave that a third try. What movie did I?
Why do you keep doing this?
No, because everyone has told me you're seeing the wrong movie, Matt. You're seeing the wrong movie in theaters. And if you're doing 4DX, go see it. Try it with this kind.
Mission Impossible would have been good for that.
Never again will I see another fucking movie in 4DX. I hate that shit.
I don't like being jostled around like I'm in a pinball machine.
I actually, I guess it depends on what film you watch. As I said, the Mario Brothers film, it was a lot of fun because it was moving fast and the chair moves with it and stuff like that. And it was just I just thought it was a lot of fun. It was, as I said, the kids loved it. They thought it was great. They actually wanted to see it again, but I'm like, you know what? It costs too much to see it the first time.
Imagine Top Gun.
My uncle actually went to watch.
God!
My uncle went to watch Top Gun Maverick in 4D, and he loved it. He said it was incredible. The only reason why I don't go in 4D is because, well, as always, I always say it's in fucking dub, man. I'm not gonna watch that shit.
Yeah. No, there's just something. It's like, it's just this cheap little gimmick. I feel like the seats rock and there's fucking air that gets blasted by your ears. And you're like, oh wow, cool, bro. I'm so glad I paid $25.
I'm immersed
for this.
I might as well just watch it in VR if I want to be immersed.
Yeah. I mean, the only times I've watched in 4D is those, small 15-minute movies where they're actually tailored for the 4D experience, so a roller coaster or something like that. But watching an entire movie, I probably couldn't do it. I wouldn't subject myself to that.
I've seen an action movie. The last one I saw was the Ninja Turtles movie. So I even tried a cartoon, and I saw a horror movie. I've tried that's a huge range of genres to try in that theater.
A horror movie.
That's not the
right. First of all, I saw Halloween Ends. That was my first 4DX experience, and that's a terrible.
This is miserable.
That is a terrible experience because that movie is one of my most hated movies ever. Halloween Ends.
When it was first introduced, right? Because I know the people that run Cineworld, which is a big chain over here, and they invited me. I was one of the first people to experience 4DX, and they showed so they were showing clips from movies, and the one that worked the best with it was Star Wars, where they were in the trench when the X-Fighter's going in the trench, and that it felt like a roller coaster ride when you're on those things. So it depends on what movie you watch. Watching Halloween Ends, there's no things moving fast, is there? I mean,
well, that's why I tried 2 different movies, and I was still like, same result. I hate.
I'm even surprised that they show movies like Halloween Ends in 4D.
I'm surprised they showed Ninja Turtles in 4D. Did they just throw it in there? Like,
do you know the reason why they do that? Is because if it's a big film and all the other screens are sold out, you have to pay extra, and you really want to see, you have to pay extra for the 4DX, don't you? So
yeah, because I have like I pay for it's called Regal Pass because that's the theater chain down here, and so I just pay like $25 a month, and I can go see a movie every day.
Same here.
But if I go to 40X, I have to pay like some ridiculous upcharge.
Yeah, same here.
Bro, what the fuck?
Card. That's the same
Canada's ripping me off. I don't get any of this shit, man. Unless I'm with a specific bank, then I get points for free movies. But otherwise, I gotta pay out the ass to see a movie.
Yeah, I gotta pay too. All I have is a loyalty card that gets me like free popcorn after watching 2 movies. It's like,
yeah,
I get there's Bargain Tuesday. I get a free small popcorn. And the movie is $5.
My card, it basically is the same thing as Movie Cynic, but also gives you like 15% off the popcorn and the Coke that you buy as well.
Yeah, the Regal Pass does that too. Like I get free popcorn and shit all the time.
Yeah, it's a good deal in my opinion, because if you see more than 2 films, then you've literally the 3rd film is free.
Yeah. Yeah, I go see a movie at least. I'd say it probably average like twice a week. I go to the theater. I just don't like that's why I started the second channel, was so I could review like the smaller stuff I see, and I haven't caught up with myself to be able to start doing that. But I see all kinds of movies, and I try and talk about them a little bit here and there on streams and stuff. But
is the Last Voyage of the Demeter out in your place?
Yeah, I went and saw that. It was so damn mid, dude. Like, it's one of those situations where everything is competently made. Like all of it, you're like, yeah, that was good. Oh, cool. Like even the script had some foreshadowing stuff. Like, oh, that's clever. But it is a super not recommended movie from me. Absolutely not.
Cynic told me not to go see it, and I came on like, BSUP instead.
Yeah. It's one of those movies where you leave and you go, man, I wish that was terrible, so at least I could have something to talk about.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than just a mid movie.
Yeah, there really is.
Which is a shame, because that's the one, isn't it? It's set on the boat with Dracula going over to Portsmouth. Is that the one?
Yeah. The thing is, like, the lead actor is great. I really liked his I liked his performance. His character was pretty underwritten. But I really liked that actor's performance.
Who was the lead actor? Dr. Dre?
The what?
Dr. Dre, the dude that plays Dr. Dre in Straight Outta Compton.
Oh yeah. I thought you meant like legitimately. I'm like, no, bro. Yeah, him. He was really good. All the acting was very good. It's just like, it's a fucking horror movie, and there's not even a single jump scare, and you call everything right before it happens, and it's so by the numbers.
I'm still gonna go see it in theaters.
That's what I mean, is that it's competently made, right? So like, but it's just beat by beat. It's the same thing, and I'm not giving anything away here because it's in the trailer. Like Dracula's on board the ship, and vampires come out at night, right? You know that, right? So they'll
Spoiler alert.
Right. So like that, people that have the night shift, one will get eaten, and then people will get bit, and people will be like, "Oh fuck, what happened?" Well, something happened.
I feel so bad because it's a director that I like. Like, I've made a video on Trolljägerin, which is his first movie. So it's Troll Hunter, and it's a low budget like mockumentary thing. And he's really
Troll Hunter.
Yeah, it's Andre Overdahl, man.
I love that movie. Okay, all right,
that's why I was hyped for this movie. But
I just like Dracula. That's the only reason I wanted to see it.
Well, I think that.
Go ahead.
That's basically what we said.
Yeah, we're saying that it's mid. Like, it is middle of the road. It's not.
It is a 5 out of 10.
Right, it's legit, and that makes it the worst though, because if it's horrible, at least I can sit and bitch about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, this is just the only reason I'm even talking about it, is because someone brought it up. Otherwise, I just forgot.
What was I gonna say? Fuck, I forgot. The Troll Hunter, the director. Fuck
Dracula.
yeah, no.
No.
It popped out. It'll come back soon. Don't worry.
Error.
Jump scares are cheap, but this didn't even have any atmosphere or like it almost had some mood, but it didn't. So
Oh,
it didn't even have that.
remember.
That's why I'm saying like it didn't even at least have a jump scare. Like there's just
So-
nothing to it.
I don't know if you guys have seen the Dracula show on Netflix. It's 3 episodes, and each episode is an hour and a half long. And the second episode is solely the voyage of the Demeter, basically. And it sounds as if they do a much better job in that show, because that's like an hour and a half long just of the voyage, and it's actually really good. But then, yeah, don't watch episode 3 of the series. It's fucking dog shit. They bring Dracula into like the 21st century and shit. It's trash.
Are you talking about the BBC one?
He's on
Yeah.
TikTok.
Yeah, the BBC one's absolutely awful. Don't watch that. It's so
The third
shit.
episode is bad, but like the Voyage of the Demeter episode, which is the second one, is probably the best. And
Yeah, I agree. It's really woke though.
oh
It's
yeah, it
incredibly
is.
woke because it's the
Oh.
BBC. It's
It
incredibly
is
woke.
BBC.
Well, I mean,
BBC.
woke can be good, right? It could
No.
be good.
I mean,
Yeah,
the second episode was good, but like the first and third ones are just absolute dog shit. So it's basically one good episode in a 3-episode series.
They changed the main hero into a female.
Mm-hmm. They do.
Oh.
You
So
know what
there you
was a
go.
better version of Last Voyage of the Demeter was
Morbius.
essentially Midnight Mass.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yes,
Midnight
but-
Mass
I
is
but-
still
great.
gotta watch that.
But still,
It had like this had it was like it wanted to be that but on a ship, and it just it
Yeah,
can't even
but it had a
come
huge
close.
flaw in it that nobody mentioned. Nobody could figure out that they were vampires. I mean, it was so obvious that they were vampires, right? And nobody
In-
says it.
Like
What
in Midnight
like
Mass?
in Midnight Mass?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I mean, yeah, but I wouldn't know. Well, do they acknowledge the vampires or something that exists?
No, but it's so obvious.
in
Why
their
didn't
world?
anyone mention it? It's like, you
Yeah,
know,
but in
this
that
guy's
world, do
drinking
vampires
someone's blood.
exist?
What's
Yeah,
that?
exactly. Like in the world of Midnight Mass, are vampires considered a thing?
I'm just assuming that that world is similar to the world that we live in, and we
I
know what
guess if I
vampires
saw
are.
someone drinking someone's blood, I'd be like,
exactly,
you know, I
that's
might
a vampire.
I mean, I
guess,
might just
but we
think that they're
jokingly
Megan
say it
Fox.
at most. At most, we just be like, "That's like a fucking vampire." Like
I wouldn't joke.
that's all
I'd
you
run
get out of me.
away.
Nah, it's just Megan Fox. Don't worry.
I mean, that was the flaw. That's what I found. I liked it, but I found that weird that nobody would mention the word vampire. Because remember when we were investigating, it was like, oh yeah, there's blood. You know, there was blood and so and so, and oh, they
how
drank
many-
the blood and stuff. It's like, what vampire? Duh. You know,
Well, how
it's
many
like-
zombie movies do we see where they're like they don't bring up zombies?
Well, yeah, because they don't
Most
want
of
to.
them,
They don't even
yeah.
call them zombies. They just say it's
Yeah.
either infected or
They're walkers.
The
It's some
dead or yeah.
cauliflower looking thing.
I guess. I don't know.
It's only the
Coral.
Korean stuff where they actually
Coral.
acknowledge the zombies exist.
Coral.
Yeah.
Coral.
Oral.
Coral. Coral.
Anything else on the docket?
Nope. I mean, unless you guys wanted to talk about Ahsoka, I'm not into that. Like, I'll probably
Not
watch
a
it,
Star
maybe,
Wars
but-
fan, so
Not gonna
Actually,
watch it.
I'm making a video about Ahsoka.
There's always one.
I'm making one before it, just outlining just the major issues that it has going into it.
Like
and
with
one
all
of
the
them is
Clone
that-
Wars stuff.
Yeah, I'm going over her arc in Clone Wars and like establishing her as a character, and I'm like, yeah, she should just be dead already because she should have died in Rebels.
Yeah, but then they introduced time travel and literally
Yep.
just pluck her from the script
Well,
saying, I'm going to need you for later. And so
Literally,
won't-
yes. If you watch the last, I think it's the second to last episode of season 4, Ezra, God, the insufferable child. He's like in what they call the world between worlds. It's just like this black world, and there's like portals everywhere. And then he looks into one, and then he sees Vader fighting Ahsoka, and it's like, ooh, this is like cool. You're watching that, and I felt like, oh, are we gonna see Ahsoka die? This is insane. And then no, he literally just puts his hand in the portal and just rips her out of it. And then she's like, oh well, that was crazy. Anyway,
Oh man.
this is good, guys. Dave Filoni is a really good writer, by the way. He's so good.
He's going to save Star Wars, don't you know?
He's gonna save Star Wars. And
How
then
many
he,
years has
like,
he been trying to save Star Wars?
for a lot?
Oh man.
They're going to have to do some considerable work to explain how it is that she's gone through the entirety of the Galactic Civil War and done nothing.
Yeah, and
like nothing that influences the plot of the OT in any way.
So they made another animated show called Tales of the Jedi, and she has an arc in it, and she just kind of shows up at Padme's funeral, which I understand, but it just feels like they're shoehorning her into literally every plot line in the movie. Like, you could tell me that she is like in the Death Star during like the first trip to the Death Star that Han, Luke, and Leia go on in the first step in the first Star Wars movie.
Well, knowing Disney, they'll add her in post, so she actually will be on the new versions of the OT.
She'll just be like
corner, peeking around the corner. There is Ahsoka, and actually, it was her who she turned off the tractor beam. Obi-Wan thought he was doing it, but it was Ahsoka all along.
She comes around the corner. She's just like that boomer, and then she hits a bunch of buttons, and there's like there. But yeah, I like Ahsoka. I thought she started as just an unbearable twat in the first couple seasons, but they did fix her in the later seasons. But yeah, she's just a character that she should just be dead after the Rebels episode. She has no purpose, and like I think Rocio Dawson did a fine job in the Mando episode that she was in, but overall she just shouldn't be in Star Wars anymore. She should be dead.
Yeah, and that episode looked cool enough. The character looked cool enough. She did cool looking things. It was a fun play on old sort of samurai type films, but as an actual piece of storytelling, it doesn't make a huge amount of sense. But there is one thing to be quite excited for with Ahsoka, though, which is I think the last trailer showed the spinning lightsaber, which might mean that the Grand Inquisitor is back, or even Wok might be back.
No.
So that'll be fun.
Or they start flying like they do in the show.
Please! I love the Inquisicopters. They're fantastic.
They are cowards if they don't do it. They could have done it in... Listen, if they did it in Obi-Wan, 10 out of 10. Like, they are cowards for not doing it.
I know, it was so disappointing not to see them do that. Because I mean, the show was just ridiculous anyway, so they might as well have made it overtly funny.
Yeah. But no, it's gritty and character developing.
Of course it is, yeah.
Listen, when he's fighting Darth Vader, when it shows blue on his face, Anakin's talking, but when it shows red, Darth Vader's talking. It's visual storytelling, Platoon. You don't understand cinema.
Is that from your elitist community college degree? That's what's
yes.
right now?
Yes.
Do we know a huge amount about the premise for Ahsoka in terms of where it's at, what the story's going to be?
It's pretty much just Rebels season 5. So Sabine, is that no?
Sabine Wren, is that the one that Obi-Wan bangs?
No, that's Satine. That's Satine.
Sabine, Satine. It's
Sabine
very similar.
Is related? No, it's Satine Kryze, and then there's Sabine Wren. Different people or different clans, I guess. So yeah, Sabine is kind of I'd say she's probably more of a Mary Sue than Rey is, honestly. She just kind of does everything that she needs to conveniently. She is being trained to be a Jedi, but she's not in the Rebel show. And there's a funny clip from a Cosmonaut Variety Hour movie, video where he's like talking about Rebels, and he's like, if they make her hold a lightsaber and make her a Jedi, she's practically just a Mary Sue at this point. And it's like, yeah, they're doing it. She has a lightsaber and all the promotional material. So good job, Dave Filoni. You're saving Star Wars.
Not saving anything.
There's gonna be maybe an Anakin cameo. That's what I've been hearing.
I think
that's what I saw today.
I read that.
I've heard that there's multiverse. They're using the world between worlds as multiverse.
They just want to they need to stop now. Seriously, they need to stop.
They're not
Halt Star Wars. Halt everything now.
If they stop, how am I going to make content? We're going to make content here.
Well, somebody's going to suffer.
But yeah, I heard it. So one of the leaks or the rumors was that she's going to go in. Ahsoka is going to go into the world between worlds, and then she's going to see the fight in episode 3 of Obi-Wan versus Anakin, and apparently she might go into it.
Oh, get fucked.
Yeah, yeah, I knew that'd make you mad. Yeah, that's one of the. That's what
they wanted to do with Indiana Jones, wasn't it? With Waller-Bridge, whatever her name is, change the whole. Plane.
Well, the thing is, they can't change it now. it's done. They wrapped filming. I don't even think there were any changes.
No,
to
what I'm saying is that that was the original plan, wasn't
Yeah.
it? That she would erase him from time, and if
Yeah.
Ahsoka goes back into that Star Wars episode, that film that you just mentioned, and
Revenge
change
of the
time,
Sith.
yeah, then basically
yeah.
she might erase, Obi-Wan or
Maybe she'll
even
just
Darth
watch.
Vader.
Like, for some reason in my head, I've got her head like Astrid in Thor: Love and Thunder, just sort of peeking
Or
out
like
of the corner, just
Flash.
like watching the fight, and like in terrible CGI
like-
cut out.
Hello.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
not good, is it? Not good.
Oh, but hey guys, if they introduce a multiverse, then they can retcon the sequel trilogy, and Star Wars will be saved. So
Actually, it will be saved.
yeah.
We can do Obi-Wan again and do it right this time.
It's too late though. It's too late. It's embedded into history now. This crap. So
It is.
it's too late.
She goes to the world between the worlds, and it's just like this blank white room with George Lucas sitting on his own in a big chair in the middle,
And he's
like
snapped.
the architect from the Matrix, and he can just press a button that deletes everything after Revenge of the Sith, and we
Hit
can
this
start
button,
again.
and hit this button, and I will buy Star Wars back. Yeah, not good.
Well, I'm glad I was absent for most of that one.
Is your mic peaking?
It is a
Yes.
bit. Yeah.
It is.
My mic?
Yeah.
Yes, like
Yeah.
your gain is peaked.
Really?
All right.
Yes.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Oh, it sounded fine. Wait, keep talking.
He said
Is it all
fuck.
right now?
Much better.
You're
That's
now
cool, yeah.
low, I think.
How about now?
Just a little higher.
A little
Just
bit
a little
more.
higher.
What if I
So-
talk into it like this?
Sounds
A
like
little
you've
bit
got
more?
bad teeth.
All right.
Nothing is changing. You sound fine. It's all
Okay,
good.
cool. All right. Say I don't know. Adjust anything.
Yeah, you're fine
Um,
now. Yeah.
Fucking awesome. Any other topics before we move on to super chats then?
Blue Beetle!
I wanted to quickly mention as well.
Yeah.
Margot Robbie might be making $50 million off of Barbie due to her content.
Damn.
I saw that.
Yeah.
That's
nice
crazy.
for her.
You get it, girl.
Yeah, it's nice for her.
How much was
Well,
she
what's
already
Gosling
worth?
making, man?
He's not making
Nope.
fuck,
Yo,
mate.
Gosling better be making bank, bro. He needs to retire. He did it. He peaked.
But if Barbie's messaging is correct, then he will earn at least 30% more for the same amount of work than Margot Robbie does.
As God intended.
Yeah.
I mean, she was a producer on the film too, right? So she
Yeah.
probably
Yeah,
has
so
all
she's
kinds
getting
of
money for that as
deals.
well.
Yeah. It says that her current net worth before that is 40 million, and Ryan Gosling's is 70 million. So this all checks out so far. Whoop, whoop. I think they're all right. They're doing all right.
Any updated assumptions on Blue Beetle before we move on?
Ooh, I see that Thursday.
Yeah, I
think
see it on
I see it
Thursday as well.
Friday.
Good
I'll see it
luck.
on Friday,
What day
yeah.
is it?
I'm gonna
Yes, I
get
see
a
it
workout
Thursday, too.
in that day because, like, I have to do cardio that day, and I know the theater will be empty. So I'm just gonna do laps around the theater while I watch it.
I'm going straight after work on Thursday to see.
I'm gonna go in and I'm just gonna cheer the entire time.
It's not by yourself.
My bum's not
The
gonna grace
Blue
the
Beetle
cinema on that one.
Battalion has arrived, and it's just nobody.
I'm not going to see it.
I don't. That's
Looks like trash.
It does.
does.
And the fact that every single review is just talking about the Latin culture perspective tells me that this film doesn't have a lot of substance. So
It's Latin Power Rangers, man, Vex. You know,
It's-
we have to see
it's
ourselves
Latin Iron Man.
represented. Yeah,
It is.
I said Power Rangers basically because
I mean,
it looks
does
so
look
much
like
worse
Power
than Iron
Rangers.
Man.
His mask looks like Iron Man's mask. It's really
Yep.
weird. Yeah.
My local cinema for Blue Beetle just still lists just to be confirmed. So you can't even book tickets. No one can book tickets. They don't even know if they're showing it yet. That's encouraging.
wow.
I think Cineworld's showing it, definitely.
Man, for
There's a
me, like
Cineworld
on
in
my
Ephesus.
Okay, Matt. I will not take this Andor slander. All right, shut up. Sorry.
I mean, me on,
Andor
like,
is the best thing
coming
since
soon,
Empire. All right.
Like the coming soon side of my
I'm
my
not even
cinema
going to start
app,
on that one.
it has the non listed before Blue Beetle. It's like,
Mm.
yeah, that's how shitty. Like, no one's buying Blue Beetle tickets, man.
Even the poster looks shit. The poster
does.
design is just absolutely. It looks like crap. The
It
film
doesn't
just
know
looks
what it
rubbish.
wants.
Yeah, it's messy. Yeah,
And they've hired this like SJW to be the main character. It's almost like a superhero Snow White situation. Because
Bro,
all
you
I've
know
heard
what?
surrounding this movie is about like, oh, we finally get to see a Latino superhero, and the fucking soundtrack kicks ass.
But you know what? Cholo has some really good charisma around him, so I'll give him that.
Wait, his name is Cholo?
No, it's Zolo, but you might as well.
I was like, get the fuck out of here.
Wait, he has charisma? How?
Yeah, like I watched some of the
No shot he has
interviews that he
riz.
did before the writer strike happened, and he comes off as just really fun. He's got a lot of charm. Oh,
hello.
Goodbye. Finally, he's gone.
He's got a
Let's
lot
all
of
say
charm
the
to
N-word
him.
and get his channel demonetized and taken down. Everything you've ever wanted to say it now, very quickly.
No,
before-
fuck you.
Shit, too late.
Damn it.
No,
said every
this
slur
is
in
like
the book
3
there.
streams straight where I have this mouse and it has a button on the side, and if I click that button, I'm out of here. And I've
What?
done it 3 streams straight.
You've got an ejector seat mouse. That's quite
I do.
impressive.
If I just click the button, that window closes.
Dude, do I have that? I wonder. Everyone start clicking your random mouse buttons that you don't have
And it
any
always
automatic
does seem to happen when like a topic is brought up that I don't want to talk
You
about.
get very excited and you
Oh.
press your mouse.
Fuck this.
All right. We'll stop talking about Cholo Beetle then.
What else is coming after Blue Beetle then? Is there anything
Dune.
big coming after Blue Beetle?
The Marvels
Dune.
and Aquaman.
Yeah, but that's
2.
not big, is it? Those two.
Dune.
Yeah, sorry,
Dune, of course,
2,
Dune.
as
Woo!
Andrew was yelling.
Dude, I remember watching that, and then one of my friends, for some reason, he walked in thinking it was a Star Wars movie. And
Oh my
then
God.
I walked out, and I'm like, that was the best movie this year. And then I looked at him, he's like, that wasn't Star Wars. It was terrible. So,
Yeah, in terms of the superhero stuff, though, I think Dune is the biggest release we have for the rest of the year. In all honesty,
Really?
I'm just thinking, like, in terms of hype behind it and like consistent PR and all that stuff. Like, yeah, someone's saying Napoleon, but like, no one's really talking
Isn't
about
that
Napoleon.
direct?
Equalizer 3. What do you mean? That's
Oh
coming out.
yes, yes. That looks quite good actually. I would
I'm not
see
even
that.
bothering with that, man. Equalizer 2 sucked.
Also,
Craven
have
the
you-
Hunter got pushed back.
good.
chat.
Have you guys seen that trailer with Nick Cage in it called The Retirement Plan? That looks like so much fun. Have you ever seen it?
Really? It came up on my feed, but I haven't watched it.
It's really that looks really like a lot of fun with Nick Cage. I'm assuming this is going to be released on streaming, but the film looks like a lot of fun. Basically, he's just an old man, and his niece comes to visit him, says her mum's in trouble, and all these villains come to his house, and he pretends to be this old man. Then he starts beating the crap out of them like some expert, and apparently he used to be an assassin. So it honestly, it looks like a lot of fun. You should.
The creator, I haven't heard of this.
Yeah,
that does look pretty good.
The creator
actually.
looks
the
good.
creator is interesting. It's really interesting because it was
Gareth Edwards, man.
entirely shot on Sony FX3s.
Yeah.
Oh, this is the sci-fi one. Yeah, that does look
and
good.
it looks visually incredible, and it had a tiny budget.
90
70
million, I
million?
think.
90
yeah, it
million?
was like 70 million or something like that, and it looks so good. It's like story wise, it does kind of seem like, you know, it's one we've seen before. It's the soldier who, the lone wolf who finds like a child that he has to take
Lone
care
wolf
of
has
type of
come.
deal. Yeah. There you go.
I like Gareth Edwards though. He's
No, he knows his monster movies, man. He knows his sci-fi shit, basically.
He also gave me Rogue One. I'm happy.
Yes.
It looks
He
spectacular.
gave me the original American Godzilla from the MonsterVerse, so I'm all right with that.
It does look
Underrated movie.
spectacular.
I love it.
It looks good. I'd go and see it.
I'll go
the
see
effects
that too,
alone
yeah.
looks good. Yeah.
Jay, that is a tiny budget nowadays, I'd say. So,
I mean, you've also got I think it's Kenneth Branagh's A Haunting in Venice.
What's that? Is that the?
Is that out this month?
No, it's out like soon, next month actually.
Is
Okay.
that Hercule Poirot, whatever his name is, the detective?
Hercule Poirot, yeah.
Oh god, I didn't like the last two. I'm probably not going to see this one.
I don't think anyone liked the last one, anyways.
No, David
Expendables
Suchet.
4,
David
man.
Suchet is the only Hercule Poirot.
Oh,
You
yes,
can't have Kenneth
definitely.
Branagh. Just doesn't compare.
No, he doesn't.
He doesn't.
Kenneth
Expendables
Branagh
4
does
is
the
coming out
Dutch
next
angles,
month.
bro.
Oh yeah, he does.
Although in David
Expendables 4
Suchet's,
looks terrible.
It does.
Sorry.
there's another Expendables.
Yeah,
It's
it's got 50. Is it 50 Cent in it? I'm like,
Yeah,
Aren't they all dead now?
You're actually, scraping the barrel here with these Megan Fox. What the hell?
I mean,
You know what I mean?
50
It's
Cent
like,
is probably
Megan
the only
Fox.
dude that survived an actual like Expendables in real life situation. So,
yeah.
It's true, bro.
It looks rubbish. It really does. It looks just like.
oh, we've got Saw 10 coming out next month.
Oh yeah,
so-
Saw X.
Saw X.
Eh.
I mean, it was after number 1. So.
We also
Pretty much,
have a new Exorcist movie coming out.
Oh,
Yeah,
God,
I
that
might
looks
be
terrible.
interested in that.
not watching
Dude,
it.
I don't care, good or bad. I will go see a horror movie in
Yeah, you
theaters.
love
I
that.
don't
Did
know
you
what it
see,
is about that genre. I just
yeah.
love it.
Yeah,
Did you see what the sequel is
can't
going to be
watch
called?
horror.
Because this one is called The Exorcist Believer, and they've announced that the sequel is going to be called The Exorcist Deceiver. It's like
We go from God to the Riddler.
Hold on, right?
Stupid.
You'd think, because in the trailer, right, they go to the woman from the original film.
Yeah.
You'd think they'd go to one of the priests that was involved. Do you know what I mean? Why would they go to the mother?
Because she's still alive.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah,
I
they need
guess.
they need her in the movie. I mean, the
Yeah.
Five Nights at Freddy's movie also is coming pretty
Oh
soon.
yeah. Forget about that.
I might go see
and the
Gran
Nun
Turismo.
too.
Yeah,
The
Nun
Nun
too.
Yes.
The Nun
The
2 comes out
Gran-
on the 8th, like just pretty soon actually for me. Like I think it's in a week or two.
All of these movies are like finally going to give the second channel a boost because I'm going to sit down and actually review these. Give a reason to actually go to the theater other than my own amusement.
I might go see the Gran Turismo movie. That's getting some pretty good traction.
Apparently, that's really
actually.
good. Apparently,
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't feel like it's worth the cinema watch. Like this is like me personally.
Well,
No,
if you don't have,
I get
if
the
you have a
smell.
pass, then they're all worth going.
Yeah.
But if you actually
No,
have to
yeah.
pay for every ticket, no.
And then it's travel time, and I guarantee the taxi ride there is going to end up being more exciting than the car
Taxi
drives in the
ride.
actual film. So
Taxi.
Taxi ride.
yeah,
What do you live in the 1970s?
I don't drive. I have a
Taxi rides.
chauffeur, obviously.
I mean, I take Uber.
I have to take the tube.
We don't have
Right.
Uber in this part of the country, so it has to be a taxi.
Actually, the drive is sometimes the best part to go to the cinema because I have my music. I'm just alone in the car and I'm just going there. But I mean, the cinema is like 7 minutes away by driving, from my house,
Wow.
so it's not that long. But the parking is expensive as fuck. Like a movie ticket costs eight
parking.
euros. Yeah, a movie ticket costs €8. The parking costs 6, man. It's
What?
like-
You have to
Yeah.
park to go to a fucking movie? Like you have
Yeah,
to pay for
yeah.
parking to go to a movie?
I do, yeah,
Jump
but they
on the
have this
bus,
thing
mate.
where they have well, basically you scan your parking ticket and it gives you
Yeah.
the first 2.5 hours for free.
Wow.
But that's it. That's pretty much
You're
it.
screwed if you're watching Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
Matt Cat or Matt I, his alter ego, asks, "How is Cobweb? I bought it this weekend on iTunes. Can't wait to watch. It is really good.
I'm actually watching it
Surprisingly
after
good.
the stream.
Yeah, it is underrated. It flew under the radar. It made like no money, and the only
that horror?
reason I caught it was like the last 1 or 2 days it was in the local theater. I saw a trailer for it. It just popped up on like Instagram or something.
horror?
Super
Sounds
underrated.
really
It's from the
good.
creator of Barbarian. So if you liked Barbarian, you will really like this too. It really subverts the expectations. Like if you watch the trailer, it's not what you think. And I don't want to say anything because I don't want to give it away if anyone wants to see it. But if you enjoy horror movies and want to see like what great horror directors and writers are up to nowadays, the writer and director from Barbarian and now Cobweb, doing great work. So check that out if you're a horror fan.
What's the one with the hand?
Talk to Me.
Talk
That
to
was
Me.
also really good.
That was
Oh,
great.
That was
watched it
made by
twice at the cinema.
YouTubers, right?
Yeah,
That was
right,
made by
right.
YouTubers.
Yeah, and A24 put it out. Yeah, it was really
Yeah.
good.
Oh wow.
I like
Haven't
that.
seen it.
A24 is just like, hey, YouTubers make something, and they're like, all right.
Hey, YouTubers, here's like 30 grand. Make something good, and we'll make 10 million. All
I
right.
mean, number 2 is already announced. They announced that I think it was a few days ago. So they've officially greenlit and announced number 2. But I don't know if because when Talk to Me came out, they actually said that they had already directed and basically fully made a prequel that was already shot. So I don't know.
So
if
they
it's
did the
just-
same thing with X and Pearl.
It-
They just
uh,
followed that that same situation then?
Yeah.
That's cool. I love that they do that.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, because what they did
Yeah.
was
I mean,
when they were making X, Ty West filmed Pearl because they had like an extra $1 million, and they made the movie. That was like my favorite movie of the year.
I think that's what they did because in total I think the budget was 4 million for Talk to Me, and yeah, like, with what they do with their budget is incredible. So I think that they have. I don't know if Talk to Me 2 is going to be the prequel or if they're actually doing another one, so it'll be a trilogy. But yeah, they said that the prequel is going to be around, the guy at the beginning in the first scene of the movie. So they said that it's going to be that.
That's awesome. I'm looking forward to that then.
I was going to go and see it in the cinema, but they pulled it off, so I have to go in the middle of town to see it now. So, in my local, they kind of took it off. Maybe nobody was watching it, so
I saw it twice. It's good. It's worth your cinema bucks.
Basically. Oh, cool.
I think this conversation just shows there are like a lot of great movies being produced still. It's just that they're not in the major blockbuster categories anymore. Usually,
no, all of them are low budget. All the good movies that are coming out are basically low budget. None of them crack like the 10 million mark, I think.
No, but what's cool for that too is that they're made on even smaller budgets, so they are financially successful. Which means they're not going to stop making these. I think A24 maybe in 10 years will be
A24 flopped with Beau is Afraid though. They lost a lot of money on that.
Yeah.
But I think that's the only flop that they've had recently. I mean,
I did watch a little bit of the that stream. I was gonna go back to it. It's like 10 hours long. I think I watched like the first 45
Yeah, I
minutes
watched a bit of it.
What about Asteroid Field? Did you see that one? Asteroid
no, I haven't seen that.
Not Asteroid City. Sorry, Asteroid City.
Oh, that was okay.
Yeah.
I didn't want to see it because
I'm not a massive Wes Anderson fan. So
same.
Yeah, I do like him. He has some really great ones, but he also has this very particular style, and you can become kind of a caricature of yourself. And I think he's become that at this point with this movie. So not his best effort.
I thought it was okay. The two bits that made me giggle, spoilers, is when the alien came down and grabbed his
that made me laugh too.
That made me laugh.
What the fuck?
And the kid that started singing, that made me laugh when it was teaching. That made me laugh. So that made me laugh more than the alien thing. So those only two bits. But it looked like everything was painted in the background. It just the whole look of it looked really weird. Like the mountains, they didn't look real, but they were obviously there. I don't know how they did that. Maybe it was false perspective.
I don't know
models
what
or something.
does,
I don't know. Yeah, but it was all right. It was enjoyable. To a point.
Agreed.
I'm more of a Paul Thomas Anderson type of guy.
Yeah, same. He's my favorite writer director and has been since Punch Drunk Love in 2003 or 2. Can't remember what year. Oh, thank you. 2002. Yeah. He's been my favorite since then. I love everything he does.
Yeah. I even liked Licorice Pizza. Not a lot of people talked about that.
You know, I hate to admit it. I still haven't watched it, and I own it. I bought it, and I'm like, all right, it's in the library. And then you just let it sit, and there's never...
Have you unwrapped it?
Not yet. Maybe I will tonight. Maybe
it's pretty enjoyable.
Yeah. No, you know what? Never mind. I won't ask. I'll just watch it without any information about it.
What's that?
Yeah.
Well, I was going to ask just about the movie, but I don't remember even what the plot is, so I'd rather just sit down and go in without.
Yeah, just go in blind, man.
Yeah.
It's good.
Best way to watch a movie when you don't. Know
what's your favorite PTS movie or PTA?
For me, it's There Will Be Blood, man.
Same.
I love it. I watched it when it came out, so I wasn't even 10 years old at the time, but I was just mesmerized by the entire thing and the story, which is weird because I was probably too young to understand what the fuck was going on. But I just sat there and watched it, and I think I watched it 4 or 5 times, and I just love it. It's so good.
It's very deep.
The ending, I remember the first time I watched it, I was watching it with another friend of mine who's a real cinephile too, and the very ending, like both of our mouths were just like open, and we both just started laughing because of how crazy that fucking ending was. God, the whole damn movie is so perfect. It's gonna be one of the best movies ever made.
And
like not just his best feature, just one of the best ever.
True, and it's like it came out. I mean, 2007. What a year for movies, man! You had that and No Country for
No
Old Men
Country?
basically
Oh
at
my
the
God.
same time.
Yes.
So like, damn.
That's the
man.
one. That's I didn't like the ending of that film.
No Country?
No Country, but
Too
I did like.
ambiguous for you?
Yeah, it was. I liked the rest of it. I liked the tension when before he shoots Woody Harrelson. I thought that was fantastic.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah,
too.
so
yeah, the ending was pretty ambiguous, huh?
I didn't like. I thought it was a cop out. I was like, "What?
Yeah,
that's done."
I
I'm
see
like,
what you
"What?"
mean.
You know, it's like, no. But, yeah.
No, I feel you on that. Still an awesome movie too, and what a year for the Academy Awards because what's his who played Anton Chigurh?
Javier Bardem.
That's it.
Yeah, he won for Best Supporting Actor that year, and Daniel Day-Lewis won for There Will Be Blood that year. Just what
both great
epic
performances
lineup.
though.
Yeah,
and it's funny how they were filmed basically in the same place where even on the set of No Country for Old Men, they had to stop shooting because they had the smoke from There Will Be Blood in the background of their shop.
That's
it's insane.
Awesome.
Yeah,
so good. Real cinema.
Well, we can get to super chats unless anything anyone has anything else.
Yeah, no man. Blue Beetle 150 million. That's my guess.
Worldwide.
Worldwide probably 170, 180.
$1 billion.
You know what? Right, I'm going to warn everybody. Really? Do not watch Heart of Stone on Netflix. It is absolutely awful.
The fuck is that?
Gal Gadot, whatever her name is.
Oh, okay, that's her new thing.
So bad. The acting is so bad. You would just cry with laughter.
Vex wants everyone to know that she has nothing to contribute. So she's like perusing the chat.
I'm eating carrots at the same time, so I don't want you guys to hear. I got really hungry while you were chatting, so I went and cut some
I was scrolling
carrots
Twitter while that was going on, so.
All right, well, first super chat, TGV Monster for $5. So what do you think will be the final nail in the coffin for Marvel when the Marvels bombs or when the next Avengers movie doesn't hit 1 billion?
Neither.
I also don't see an Avengers movie not hitting 1 billion. They would have to have some serious fuck ups on par with the last 2 years.
Secret Avenger or Secret, yeah.
Who's going to be?
It'd have to
in
be
it,
like
though?
Secret
Who's
Avengers
headline?
or Secret. What is it?
And that's a large part of it. I can see an Avengers not hitting 1 billion just because there's no one worth going to see it for.
That's the thing. Like we don't care about team ups now. We care about team ups of interesting characters.
Yeah.
And this current Avengers lineup, they're all second rate or just cop out second tier versions of the same characters we had before, or just uninteresting characters we hadn't seen before. So it's just who is even the leader?
Spider-Man?
There's no sense of an overarching story as well for an Avengers film to actually cap off. So there's no reason to go and see it story-wise, and there's no reason to go and see it in terms of character. And we haven't got a clue what the world is like, and the themes are almost universally disliked. So there's no actual real strong incentive to go and see an Avengers film other than the name and the brand. I don't think that's going to be enough. I can see the next one not hitting 1 billion, but I don't think it will be the final nail in the coffin just because I don't think the MCU is going to get a coffin. It's going to die, and then it will slowly decay out in the open. And it will just be left to rot, and eventually people will just stop making those films. But there won't ever be a single definitive moment where we can say, yes, it died and we buried it and moved on. I think it's just going to slowly go out.
I think at the most, the death of the MCU will be a reboot of the MCU.
Yes.
Try one more time.
Yeah.
I think that's the trajectory we're on right now. If anything, they're gonna just. I imagine that with the filming already basically.
Take those carrots out of your mouth.
Say you join those carrots, Max.
You sound like you're deep throating a carrot while you're speaking. It's not a good approach.
All right, let's calm down.
With the money already being spent and the filming already done, I imagine they'll just let these kind of go, and then once those don't hit success, we'll see a soft reboot, if anything.
I mean, like they're missing their prime opportunity with Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe to just kill off Phase 4 in Deadpool 3 in a fun way.
Well, they're using the time travel thing in there, so that very well could happen.
Yeah, well, you're also missing out on opportunities to have Captain Marvel, or not Captain Marvel, fuck that, Captain America meet Wolverine and all these really cool character interactions that you're not going to be able to get if you stick with the current MCU. So that's what they'll think if they have to reboot it. It's like, well, you know, X-Men and Avengers can exist at the same time, and Spider-Man can be in it, and blah blah blah. So that's the only way I think it's gonna die. Like just like the DCEU is now dead, and the DCU is coming.
Well, like there's been there rumors that maybe like RDJ or Chris Evans or something like that will maybe come back for a cameo have been kind of growing by the day.
Terrible.
I imagine they'll pull some shit like that for the Avengers to sell tickets.
Yeah, but for what's it called? For the Chris Evans rumors, I heard that he's rumored to come back as Johnny Storm in Deadpool 3. So,
that'd be fun.
Actually, genius, please.
Yeah, I would actually like it. And they
have
said that
him
they're going to
shirtless
basically
and towel again too, please.
Well, yeah. With the set photos, Deadpool 3 is probably going to be Deadpool kills the Fox universe. So they're gonna bring back everyone. Probably bring back Famke Janssen as Jean Grey. You know,
bringing back Elektra from the Daredevil.
Movie from Elektra.
But if I was Disney,
she did have a movie.
I wouldn't make another Avengers movie. I would make Fantastic Four and do it properly. That's what I would do. I think.
Well, they're doing that before the next Avengers.
I know, but they're not going to do it properly, though, are they?
Probably not. No.
So,
I think what handicapped them too was that I think people forget that the X-Men contracts with Fox for all the current actors that portrayed those characters in the Fox movies run out in 2026. So they actually cannot make an X-Men movie unless they have those actors playing the characters.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh, really?
So that has handicapped them, even though they purchased it 4 years ago. They can't do it.
Wow.
So I mean, technically, does that count for? Well, that only counts for X-Men, not for Fantastic Four, right?
Right. And I think with Fantastic Four, look what's happening with Blade. They signed this movie on 4 years ago with their lead actor and don't even have a script, and it's because they just don't know how to do this character.
I heard
so they don't know how to do Fantastic Four. No, he hasn't left yet. But I wouldn't blame him for leaving. He's also almost like 50 years old.
Yeah,
Mahershala Ali. Yeah,
he's a great casting, but he's
a great casting, but like you're wasting him right now.
Tom's sticking.
It's too late now, anyway. I mean, as I said, if they did Fantastic Four right, then if I was in charge of Disney, I'd say concentrate on that. Let's just do Fantastic Four the way it's supposed to be done.
They can't have a the next Avengers movie is already scheduled for May 2025. Like
two parters too. The Kang Dynasty, I think.
And
they can always cancel them.
There's no Fantastic Four movie that's scheduled to come out before that, unfortunately.
Is it going to come out in between now? Because it was supposed to kick off Phase 6.
They're doing a Captain Marvel thing with it.
Yeah. Because even Blade is doomed. I mean, you can go back to Wesley Snipes, but how old is Wesley Snipes, man? You must be pushing 60
the
or
fact
something,
that they don't know what to do with that character. They tried to make a PG-13 script, and that made no fucking sense whatsoever. And now they can't get a director to commit, so this thing is basically dead on arrival.
Bro, give it to me.
Give it
to him.
Blade is my favorite MCU character, but I have no faith in this adaptation.
You can't have it. You're white. You can't have it. You can't have Blade. You're white. Sorry, mate.
Hey, I agree with this guy. This guy's kind of based. Fantastic Four comics are kind of trash. I'm going to be honest.
They are, except for Jonathan Hickman's Fantastic Four run in 2009, and that completely changed my mind on the fact that you can make a good Fantastic Four movie.
Yeah.
Or at the very least, a good Fantastic Four story. Because before then, I was like, man, Fantastic Four is dog shit.
That's what they should follow that version.
Yeah, Jonathan.
The only good time for Fantastic Four were when they were side characters for Spider-Man comics. So, like
in
the
the current
Spider-Man showed up for Fantastic Four, best comic.
In the more modern Secret Wars, which was also written by Jonathan Hickman, and it was led up to that too in this long-running Avengers series that he wrote, which was also just really dense but really great if you invested in it. It made me believe Doctor Doom was probably the most badass supervillain in comic books.
He is.
Yeah,
I
so
think
it can be done.
It can be, and I
Can be
said they
done.
should just trash everything and just make Fantastic Four, because everybody as far as I know, everybody wants to see it. I want to see a good Fantastic Four movie.
Yeah, I was gonna say my husband's still holding out for Doctor Doom. Like he loves
Yeah.
Doctor Doom.
I mean, going based on the casting, the casting rumors with Vanessa Kirby, I forgot his name, the dude from Stranger Things season 4 as Johnny Storm too. I think that's good casting. At least it's
Who?
not Michael B. Jordan as Johnny Storm again.
Wait, from season 4.
Ed. Oh man, I forgot his name. The famous guy that everybody likes.
Matt Smith is going to play. They say he's going to play. Mr.
No, he's
Fantastic.
not. No.
Well, that's what they say, but we'll see. We'll see.
The dude that plays Eddie Munson in Stranger Things season 4.
Was he going to play Johnny Storm?
Yeah.
Matt I.
Hey Platoon, do you want to read this in Matt I's imitation of his mother?
I only have one voice, so no.
All right, I'll try it.
Go on,
Matt I for $1.99. Oh, listen, this Lotus movie is terrible.
Yeah.
Actually, Andrew, you want to read this one, buddy?
Sure. Campbell Patterson for a 10. Greetings, amazing panel. It's my 20th birthday.
20th. Oh.
Today.
is he
Thank you
breaking
guys
up?
for brightening
He's
up
breaking
my
up.
day each week and helping me through tough times. My internet's not doing well. You guys are legends, and you should feel proud.
Thank you, Campbell, and happy birthday.
Happy
birthday.
Happy
And I'm
birthday,
also
man.
going to assume you're not talking about Andrew, because nobody,
Nobody here likes me, other than Dave in chat if he's here.
A legend of dislike. There we go.
Oh, but happy birthday, man.
20's a fun birthday. It all gets worse from here, but enjoy it while you can.
I don't
agree,
think
it
so.
does.
My 30s have been way better than my 20s.
My
So it
30s
gets-
and my 40s were great. So,
It gets better, man. It just keeps going up. Life is great.
I've
Rock
spent
and roll.
1 year in my 20s and it's hell, man. So
True.
I'm gonna say the 30s are where it gets really good. Like
Yeah.
you know who you are. There's no more shitty people in your life because you've lived and learned. You know
I know
how to
who
do
I
yourself
am.
better.
You're
right?
a cat.
There you go. You're
He's
a black cat.
I am.
30s are where it's best. Just 20, you can fucking stay up for 3 days and it won't affect you. That's the perk of
I mean, that's
20.
pretty cool, but
Yeah.
no, my 30s been way better than my 20s.
Also, my dad used to say to me, when you reach your 40s, you get a superpower. And then when I reached 40, I said to my dad, what superpower do I get? And he goes, come here, son. He goes, you get to learn how to smell bullshit. So there you go. So there you go.
Uninspired, do you want to read this one, sir?
Yeah, sure. Pooty Evans for $4.99. Thank you, sir. Or madam. We don't misgender anyone over here. Wow, this sounds like crap. You think Sony Marvel will be more protective of their IP? So does crowdfunding bypass licensing? This is in relation to Spider-Man.
It doesn't bypass it. You just can't make any money off it. And that's mostly because they could DMCA you. They could stop everything, stop production, or take the video down after you posted it. But usually it's not worth the time and bad PR, so they won't. Unless you're like Nintendo.
Yeah. I was about to say that.
Disney's done this in the past where they tried to shut down fan films, and then everyone hated them for it. It happened with Star Wars Theories Darth Vader fan film that he made. They tried to copy strike it, and like literally the entirety of Twitter said no. And then Disney was like, all right, I'm sorry. So yeah. And also the video itself, like the movie on YouTube, is not monetized. So
oh yeah, it's true. I didn't get any ads.
Thank God.
Yeah,
So
I would
they
have just clicked off.
They spent $100,000 on that, and there is
It's
no
crowdfunded money, so I mean,
Right.
don't really have to pay back. To
everyone
anyone.
else paid for it.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Keep forgetting that. All right.
From the corporate perspective, it does, I think, tend to be how much competition do you expect the fan thing to actually create for your IP. So with something like Spider-Man Lotus, that's not going to stop you going to see the next Marvel Spider-Man film.
Right.
It's not zero sum. Whereas when it comes to the fan remake of Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, for example, well, they are also officially remaking Knights of the Old Republic. So, of course, they DMCA'd the shit out of that, even though it was almost completely finished. And so that will never see the light of day. And then they went and postponed the official remake anyway. So good work over at whatever Lucas Games used to be.
Oh, wow.
Good job, fuckers. Vex, you want to read that one?
Sure. Nikki Relihan for £20. Thank you. Sorry to spoil the surprise, but the Lord is actually making a web series. He's called it Platoony Tunes. I'll see myself out.
You have spoiled my tremendous secret that I was waiting to reveal myself.
Would pay to watch.
What happened to your new TV? Sorry.
Oh, he got
Socrates.
Oh yeah. Wait. No, you're right. He went back to the old TV.
Yeah, went back to the old TV.
That's because I'm currently on my old computer.
Oh.
The new one has to go all the way back to the shop because the motherboard is fucked.
Oh,
and so I said, well, can
wait,
you just,
on your like 5-figure computer
salary,
the £9,000 computer is broken.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, no, because that's the reason that is it 2 episodes ago when I kept dropping off because it keeps randomly turning itself off. So they thought it's a memory problem. Well, it's a feature, not a bug. But they thought it's a memory problem. So I started testing the RAM sticks, and it turns out no, the motherboard's just fucked. So yeah.
Wow.
And I said, well, can you send me a new motherboard rather than shipping this entire 3-ton machine back and then back again? Just send me a motherboard and I will get it fixed. And they said no because licensing or something. So yeah, it's currently sitting there. I tried playing a bit of Baldur's Gate on it, and it lasts for a little while. But it's not ideal when you want to be streaming stuff. So yeah, it's going back in the next few days.
Are they covering the shipping and stuff for that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's all under warranty, and they're all covering all of that. So
awesome.
that will all
you
be
didn't
good.
spill any port on it on the keyboard?
No, I keep all my fluids firmly away from my computer.
Oh.
All right, hold on. Postman Socrates, member for 1 month. What does that mean?
Oh, he's a channel member on my channel. Yeah.
Watch Love, Death, and Robots to watch something that's good, and it's also made into a gaming engine.
In a gaming engine.
Yeah, in a gaming engine. Yeah,
I did love that film actually.
Love
the TV show. Sorry, I love Death and Robots. It's really cool.
Oh, Fifth Element is a top 10 film for me on Uninspired.
I like it.
Really?
I love it.
Fifth Element always makes me feel actually physically unwell. I don't know what it is.
What?
It's something to do with the color scheme or the creature design. Something about it makes me feel sick every time I watch it.
Platoon, I actually have the same issue with Toy Story, which is a big reason why I don't like Toy Story. It actually makes me physically nauseous when I watch the movie. I don't know what
really.
Seriously, yeah, I could never sit down and watch
the original.
Story. Yeah, the original one.
Wow,
Yeah,
I've never heard anyone
makes
say that.
Yeah, I could see that with like the lighting because the CGI isn't great, just because.
And this is since I was a kid,
and all the kids look exactly the same.
I think I
would like a remaster of that movie.
What Little Platoon said, I can relate to that because everything is grotesque in that movie. For some reason.
That's why it's so awesome.
Yeah,
it's just
that
so
is why
over
it's
the top.
awesome.
Yeah, well,
I love it. Oh God, anyone who hates the Fifth Element could suck my left.
That's the thing. Like, I don't hate it. It just makes me feel unwell,
I hate
so
it,
I avoid it.
Oh yeah. Well, I get what you're saying. Definitely get what you're saying. I did like the film though. I really liked it.
It's fun. It's fun, right? Yeah.
It is.
Campbell Patterson again for what does the A stand for?
Ass dollars.
For 5 ass dollars. I do feel embarrassed that I share a birthday with Jennifer Lawrence, aka the first female action star ever.
Well, she also had the first birthday, I think.
Yeah,
and the first comedy.
Yeah.
Yes, she was in the first comedy ever, and that was this year. Yep. Where she
now.
You know, she did go full frontal and full back and full side and full every angle in that movie. So
she did.
Yeah.
She looks great after having a kid.
She looked pretty damn good, dude.
Yeah.
She has a kid.
Yeah, she had a kid.
Yeah.
She had the first kid.
I don't know. She didn't look amazing to me. I don't know. I'm not a big Jennifer Lawrence fan though.
What is
So.
that? Your bigoted
What?
community college opinion? Like,
Wow, dude,
Jesus Christ.
elitist over here. Actually, Andrew pulling 12s.
Listen,
She was
That's
all
what the moustache is for.
all right.
Oh, I get it. Jennifer Lawrence is too old for you.
Yeah, I'm not into MILF.
she looks like she's like 28 though. To be fair, she's got that.
I mean,
mood
I
face.
don't really find her like that attractive, even in the
I
movie.
don't
Like,
either.
I skim
No.
through it, and I'm into older women. Like for me, my peak age, like best age, is let's say late 30s to beginning 50s. Man, that's
Wow,
my
your
age.
private life
Jeez.
must be really interesting.
Are you a man
Right.
of Macron? Has Macron joined the stream?
Oh my god. But yeah,
Someone asked if I'm behind the Margot Robbie is mid thing. No, Margot Robbie's
no,
alright.
Margot Robbie is hot, man.
Mhm.
I don't know. When I first saw her, I thought she was hot. Now I don't think so much that she's hot anymore.
Well,
for
in
some
Wolf of
reason.
Wall Street, she was, I think, 20.
Yeah, she looked hot in that.
That was her
definitely.
peak right there.
Yeah.
Wolf of Wall Street, yeah.
My flaps of golden girls.
Oh my!
I was saying, is Uninspired just calling up all of his old teachers and just like, hey, you want to
Hey,
go for a drink?
Listen,
Why
man,
is he
like,
Russian? When did he become Russian?
I'm trying.
Platoon, you want to read this one?
From Pooty Evans for $1.99 fake money is put back on Superman Solar and stop pausing.
True. Let's just run the movie.
Yeah,
There's
dude,
your
we can make
first
the stream
movie.
super like way longer. We can just
let's switch to
click
Twitch,
play.
man.
We cannot get DMCA'd for this because it's a fan movie. You just gotta
Oh, you still can't you? That's
you
still.
can,
I think
but-
he can
someone's
throw
IP.
one.
They'll
He can throw one
copyright
at you.
claim you.
Yeah,
I'd
he
call
can throw one at you.
shenanigans.
If the music they
He's not
use is
losing
made
any
by
money
themselves,
because he
they
can't
could.
monetize it.
Yeah, but
Can he
still,
not?
he could still put in a claim just to be spiteful, can't he? So
Yeah, he
What?
could.
If he wanted to be a bitch.
I mean, judging by the effects there, he is a bitch. So.
I'll just fight him back and make a better Superman fan film than them.
There you go.
And then make fun of him.
Now, this next super chat is filled with sarcasm, but it does have a question too, so it's fine. BK, have it your way for $4.99. The movie cynic is such an intelligent guy. And I know no one actually thinks that. That's fine. Why do
True,
you?
you're so
What do you
dumb,
think about The
stupid.
Dark Knight? The Dark Knight is a fantastic movie. We actually reviewed it on was it Cannoli Sasquatch's channel a
It
couple weeks ago?
was, yep. Mhm.
Yeah. So I'll type that in the chat, but we did an entire review on that, a little retrospective. It was like a 2.5-hour one. I think I still gave it, despite all of its flaws, a 9 out of a 10.
Yeah, most of us did actually, despite all of
Yeah.
its issues. Yep.
Yeah, we definitely dissected its issues because they are plentiful, but it's still a
But for all its
fantastic
issues,
movie.
it's still better than the Batman. So you know.
Exactly.
you got him started now.
Oh, he's
No,
reviewing it on a stream with me after this.
Yeah, right after this, I have to go review that. So
But you
I'd
don't
give it a
like it,
7,
do
I
you,
think.
Vex? Vex, you
I
don't like
fucking hate it. I think it's a
Uh-oh.
terrible film.
you know what's going to be interesting is I'm probably the only one on the stream who do like actually enjoys the movie.
No.
And maybe B.A. Turner will learn a lesson about how to deal with that situation.
I was thinking, I reckon that stream should have an official B.A. Turner award for the person who performs the worst in defense of any given thing. So every time the review ends, you hand out the B.A. Turner award. So this stream's B.A. Turner award goes to the movie cynic for his half-hearted attempt to defend the Batman.
Oh no, I think that award should go to the person who can actually handle it the least and had the shittiest attitude, and that might actually go to Vex.
No,
Ooh.
I'll be okay.
Fight.
Listen.
Because any criticism that you have for that movie, I'm just like, great.
Listen, I
The
got
thing
7
is-
other people who agree with me.
The thing
Yeah,
is,
and I
though,
was
I
like,
did
yeah,
listen to his
okay.
defense on that Superman. Was it the Man of Steel thing? And he was pretty, Movie Cynic was pretty good and pretty clear in what he was saying. So, Vex, you got a fight in your hands there, mate. I tell you.
I don't know. This is also after a 3.5-hour stream. I'm gonna be a little tired. I might just not give a fuck. We'll see.
Oh, he's getting the excuses out early.
Oh, no! Now you're gonna get me in
I'm
defensive
just tired and I've been streaming for
Listen,
hours.
I'll
so...
defend you in the comments.
Yeah. I need a shield. Can Andrew come
Captain
on?
America shield?
Yeah, Andrew, why don't you just join us? Hold on. Just join us after this. Yeah. Come defend the movie.
Bro, I haven't seen the movie in like since it came out. You know
Oh,
what?
don't worry. We're gonna
actually. You know what? That'd be funny.
Worry.
I
got you.
Sure, I'll show up. If it's okay.
I need
I'm gonna let
need a
Canolio
fucking
right now.
Yeah, I need someone to take all the shots for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, cool. Let's do that.
This your coach.
This is why I
be
come
whispering
onto the
into
stream,
Andrew's
guys.
ear.
Yeah. What just happened? My internet.
This is what like. Oh, you're good. No, this is what like 100K subscribers affords you. You get some perks and a shield in debates.
Yes.
Wait, where do I apply for one of these things?
You don't need one. You have your avatar. You get to hide behind.
You hide behind it like a coward.
Oh yeah, your opinions are valid, but why don't you show your face?
Exactly. No,
is that what somebody said to you?
Oh, people say it all the time.
Man, I love that Twitter thing. That was so fun. I like Platoon was giving out like actual criticisms, and then I just like sent a meme that I made afterwards. It was really fun.
I was on an EFAP that ran almost 10 hours. I tapped out at like 6.5 and exited. So yeah, I what am I gonna do? Argue with you? Yeah, I fucking pussied out. Didn't deal with it. It's too long.
Aren't you starting an EFAP style show?
Yeah, it's not gonna be 10 hours.
No,
I guarantee it. Dude, even Drinker has told me that like you know that length of a stream will just fucking break a man. So
yeah,
I've been on EFAP with Drinker, Nerdrotic. Like most guests will drop out usually before the end. It's just the hardened few who stay, and so like
EFAP
naturally, I have never quit early on an EFAP stream. I am proud to say.
I feel like I could do it. I'm insane.
I'm insane.
I'd leave to go get like lunch, but I'd come back.
Yeah, people get up.
I'll just fall asleep, and you can get the sleep cam people watching the stream. There you go, extra viewers.
Woo! CH for $2. Soon AI will allow you to make your own movies. Yeah, there was this AI created movie trailer.
Oh, the trailer. Yeah, I saw the trailer thing. That was impressive.
That's crazy. Yeah. I remember thinking like, oh, that looks okay.
Well, that's the reason why they're on strike, isn't it? All the actors and the writers on strike because they're going to AI is going to destroy jobs. But in every industry, something shifts, and loads of jobs get missed. So
yeah, true.
CH again for $2. AI means the death of Hollywood filmmaking monopoly.
I
yes,
don't know.
But it could also end the art of it a bit.
Yeah.
I think AI can be an interesting tool. Let's say if you're just like one guy working on a little short film that you're working on, and you need like a couple more ideas to get the theme through. You ask the AI just the prompt of it, and then you see what it comes up with. Like that's something interesting that you could do just to start the brainstorming phrase using AI, and then you just go on from there. That could be interesting, but yeah, I think it's an interesting tool. But if they like with Secret Invasion, they just use it for the intro title card. It's like, why did you do that?
I mean, the best example would be looking at what Corridor Crew does. So they make their I think they had their Avatar 3 thing that they did where they wrote it entirely using AI. Then after that, they also have the Corridor Crew the rock paper scissors anime that they do with AI. I mean, even if you're doing it with AI, you still need a lot of like manpower behind it to control where it goes. So until maybe AI reaches that prime time level of where you can just do it, like type it and it'll give it to you directly, you still need people behind the AI.
I think the whole point of that anime was to show that you know, if you were to do that, really, thousands or hundreds of people doing the cells and stuff like that. But Corridor Crew showed that you can do it without those hundreds of people doing the cells. So therefore, you know, and it looked like an animation completely and totally. So therefore, that's a threat to jobs in the future, isn't it, for animators? So
I think people will probably rather watch something made by something by a human. Like
That's if they can tell the difference.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, there will inevitably people will not be able to tell the difference. But like right now, like comparing the two, like you have the credits scene for I've already forgot the name.
Secret Invasion?
Secret Invasion, yeah. And then you have the after credits montage for Across the Spider-Verse. That like Across the Spider-Verse has like this really weird like animation style for the end credits. And it almost looks like it's generated by AI, but it's not, and it's actually made by real people, and it looks really good. And actually, like there was like a little subsect of Twitter who's currently trying to figure out how they made that animation style. Yeah, I think overall people right now are probably going to prefer doing that because it just looks better, and you can do way more with style, whereas AI art really only has one style, and you can really tell if an AI piece of art was made by AI right now.
I think at the moment, yes. Give it even 6 months
at the moment,
and you'll find it's completely different. The interesting thing with it is not so much does it replace the artist, because as the artist involved in the process of creation, I don't think it ever really can. So you can type in a prompt to an AI speech generator or a text generator or an image generator, or hypothetically in the far future, a movie generator, and it will basically create a scene based upon what it thinks you want. But you, as the artist creating it, are in the position then of saying, well, do I choose that particular one? Do I choose that one? Which better fits the vision I had in my mind? Do any of them truly actually accord with the vision I had in my mind? Or is there always going to be that particular creative input which the AI can't replicate? Because all it's doing is trying to respond to a prompt that you've given it. The bad thing for artists is not whether they will be replaced as artists, it's whether they'll be replaced in the market. So is there still going to be an audience for the kind of time-intensive, money-intensive process that creation actually entails? Or will people be quite happy just to sit down and mong out to a completely content-free, vapid, AI-generated pretty thing? And given the success of Avatar, I would say that probably is what will happen. But there will always be a place for you to create your own thing. It's just maybe you won't be able to compete with the computer.
I do think maybe, I mean, this is just coming from my perspective, but I think people would rather see someone else's like take on something rather than their own, because like someone else makes something, someone making something will have an entirely different perspective than you do, which is kind of the point of art, kind of, to see someone else's perspective on a theme or a story and see how they create that. So
yeah, it's true.
But you know, do you remember Richard Williams, who did the animation for Roger Rabbit? His company went down because of the fact that he was doing this animation. I can't remember what it was called, old style. He was doing it handwritten, and then he ran out of money and the company shut him down. He lost his whole company and everything. He lost everything through I can't remember what the animation was called, but he was doing things that the computers were doing 2 years later, you know, multiplying people and stuff like that. He was doing it by hand. So that's what I'm saying. So if that happened to him, could you imagine in the next 10 years time what AI, how many jobs AI is going to eliminate via what they're doing now, and in advancing as well. So it is a real threat actually to creativity, no matter which way you cut the cake, basically. So I think it's a real threat.
Remember, like I think it was like 6, 7, like almost 10 years ago when they started introducing like the self-checkouts at movie theaters and groceries, and that was the start of it. And everyone said like it's going to bleed into every other industry, and nobody listened. And look at where we are now.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah. Well, I don't know if you guys have like the supermarkets where you're like where there's nobody working, and I think it's only in Asia for now, because over here we don't have any. We just have like normal self-checkout. But are there any in America or in the UK
where nobody works?
There is. Yeah.
I straight up went to a Dollar General the other day. There was absolutely zero workers there. It was just self-checkout.
Amazon. We got Amazon.
Yeah, the Amazon
here.
stuff.
Yeah, they go in, you put your credit card on the thing, and you just take everything and you leave. It just charges it all to your credit card.
I think
there's no one there.
I think that's also an answer to like just people not wanting to work ever since COVID. I think that's just like a fast thing, like, oh, just do more self-checkout because nobody wants to work at the grocery store. You're seeing this in like the trucking industry right now. There's not a lot of truck drivers. That's why that's why a lot of people are pushing on self-driving trucks. Because not a lot of it's hard to get truck drivers. So there are places where it's needed and there's places where it's oversaturated. But the vast, like the overwhelming sum of people not working is definitely going to cause problems in the future for the economy overall.
It is, and it's also the question of, how much in terms of wages do people demand? Like the higher you push for the minimum wage to go, the greater the incentive to automate those jobs out of existence. So there's an element of cost saving, but there's profound upsides to all of this. It's an immensely efficient and cost efficient way of upping productivity. Upping productivity lowers costs for people. You get more goods to more people. The business grows. You can open more outlets which serve more people. Though they employ fewer, they also serve more. You can find in some industries the application of AI actually increases the net total of jobs, because all it's doing is enabling one person to do the work of 100 people, but by so doing making it cheaper to employ that one person to make an extra 100 productivity units, so to speak. So it can have immense benefits. It's just that it's also incredibly disruptive, and I think we're really feeling that in this particular corner of the world, because we are finally now at the stage when the AI is able to replicate the worst tendencies of Hollywood writers. And so now we're supposed to take it seriously. If it's only automating working class people's jobs out of existence, nobody really cares. But when it comes to the white collar jobs, now we're very interested.
It's true.
It's incredible what you can do in AI these days.
Yeah, like especially with like McDonald's, like fast food jobs, like they're making robots to make the fries. And I think it's called like Flippy, and I think it does flip hamburgers now. It's just a little robot that flips the food. It don't care about wages. It just cares about getting the job done.
I've got Adobe Premiere, and I've got that package Adobe thing, and I've got Adobe Photoshop, and in Photoshop Beta you can write in, like, say for instance you shoot like your room and you put it in the middle of the screen. You can write in, say, AI, can I have a window on the left hand side, and it will create a window. It'll give you three different versions of a window, and it will mix with exactly what you've shot. So that's how far AI has gone. Could you imagine what's going to happen in the next 10 years with AI?
Well, like saying that too, because I use Opera GX as a browser, and it's weird because when I first started using it, there wasn't anything related to AI and everything, but now they have an inbuilt AI prompt extension where you can just directly access AI like ChatGPT and all of that directly, just without going on the actual site. So it's already started to become integrated into the browser itself, which is still scary, It
is. It is.
Mind you, one day, me or Cynic will be able to say to Premiere Pro, hey, do me a video in the style of Little Platoon.
Honestly, Little Platoon, you probably already could.
Bad news, Bagface. You'll never be hired again as soon as I figure out how this works.
Yeah, yesterday, Vex and myself was on Brown. Was it yesterday? Or I don't know what the time it is now. But me and Vex was on Brown's channel, and afterwards in the green room, somebody showed us an AI of Frank Sinatra singing "Gangster's Paradise."
Yeah, I know. I have a bunch of those saved in my on my YouTube, just because they sound so good.
Yeah, they do.
I sent it to Dark Hour, and the entire like Uninspired Hour is so moderating crew. Like I just told them, listen to this. It's great. Oh man, it's so good. And
I have, Frank Sinatra singing "Basket Case" by Green Day.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, I think it's a real threat. I mean, I can't stress this enough. It really is. In the next 10 years time, jobs will be gone because of AI, I reckon. And then 10 years after that, we'll all be dead because they'll take over and kill the human race. And then we'll all be dead. So.
No, it won't kill you if you think it's cool. So AI, you're cool, man.
Okay.
Jonathan Frost, member for 1 month. Apparent rumor: Taylor Swift playing Dazzler in the new Deadpool movie. Look it up to confirm. I did look this up. It's just a rumor. That's not going to happen.
She'll be good though. She'll look like her.
I mean, yeah, I guess.
I mean, she's a dazzler.
Yeah.
She dazzles.
I am perplexed by Taylor Swift. Am I the only person here who has never consciously heard a single Taylor Swift song ever?
Listen,
Okay.
we are never
I've heard it
getting
in the
back together
grocery.
is real music.
I
True.
was- I-
I've
I
listened
didn't-
to
Oh,
Inspired
no, I have heard one.
I
Shit.
didn't listen to a Taylor Swift song properly until earlier this year, and I gotta say, her music kind of slaps.
Yeah,
Huh?
my favorite
Fair
Taylor
enough.
Swift song is Wildest Dreams, man. I can bop that shit on repeat when I'm
Oh,
sitting in the house.
same here. Same
I
here.
love it. Yeah, but that's it. Like, that's my 2 songs. That's pretty much it for me and Taylor
That
Swift.
that one was written about Alexander Skarsgård, actually. Wildest Dreams.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's actually the thing, like,
Mhm.
in the music video. It's actually, I think it's Scott Eastwood's first performance ever.
Oh,
Yeah,
interesting.
he plays her love interest in the video.
Scott Eastwood, eh?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Wait, someone in the chat said they can't name off a Drake song. Bro, God's Plan.
Dude, I can't either. I don't know a
can't.
single
I've never
Drake
listened to
song.
Drake.
I don't know
Wow.
God's Plan. I've never heard God's Plan, but all I know is that God's Plan is kind of a meme.
Listen, man, I listen to
So.
Drake. I listen to everything, to be honest. So yeah, Nonstop is my banger.
I don't listen to that Broomer. Oh,
That's right.
it's quite well known that here in Toronto, Drake frequents younger ladies hangouts.
Oh, so
Yeah,
he's the new
yeah.
R. Kelly.
Pretty
Mm.
much. Yeah.
Didn't he make a song about that?
He believes he can
Like,
fly.
I think he
Maybe?
made
I don't know.
I know he made a song making fun of lesbians or something. Or like,
Same with The Weeknd as well. He's been known also to hang out with younger girls. In
Man, have
Toronto.
you seen The Weeknd? What he
bro.
does? Like, look at his new show, man. That
I
thing
have not
is
seen that.
ass, bro.
Do you
He
think
should be on
Taylor
He's
Swift
ass.
is?
Look
the
at him.
list, man.
he gave me blinding lights. That's all I need.
Do you think
And
Taylor Swift's
FM
hot?
86.
No.
Yeah,
No,
buddy.
no,
No,
she's too.
I don't either.
I need more.
Taylor
meat.
Swift's nice.
Do you reckon
I
she's
need more-
hot though?
No,
Hot? No,
No,
but
no.
nice. She's pretty.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I
I'd
think.
like more meat in certain places.
She's cute at best, we'll say.
Mm.
Yeah.
She looks very
According
tall
to you,
as
Uninspired,
well.
she also needs another decade.
She does.
That's true. Yeah.
In order
Wait, she's
in
like-
order to appeal to
she's like-
me, wait another 500 years.
She's like 35 now almost, though, isn't she?
Yeah, but she doesn't look like a MILF, you know. I need you to look like one.
Dang.
Oh, that cat. Oh, kill him in
Pooty Evans for $4.99. The final super chat of the night. EFAP guests are allowed to nap. That Star Wars girl fell asleep for like 3 hours.
Yeah.
What
I,
was
thought it was,
that?
I think Aiden Paladin fell asleep twice.
That's
But then the
hilarious.
stream
Yeah,
was
people have
about
some-
24 hours long, so
People fell asleep in EFAP before. It's kind of
That's
funny.
that's hilarious.
They start talking to him and they're just nothing.
Just blank. They're just gone. That's hilarious.
Someone said ENAP. Yeah.
That does it for the super chats. Thanks to everyone who sent one in, and thanks to the chat. We would be nothing without you guys. And it's been popping off here tonight too. And I will thank our guests. Actually, Andrew, Uninspired, Vex, and Mega Geek. Thanks for coming on, you guys.
Thank
And
you.
No
as
worries.
always, I want to give the opportunity for everyone to plug anything that might be going on or let anyone know what you're up to. Andrew, what are you up to?
Well, I'm returning to making videos after I just didn't. I'm making an Across the Spider-Verse video about the changes to the digital cut of it because I'm not pleased.
That is some
then-
deep geek shit.
Yeah, it
I'm
is.
not
I'm
pleased
very
either,
annoyed
man.
by it.
I'm with Andrew on this.
I talked to Uninspired about it. A lot of the changes annoy me. I broke down a couple of them last night with Bagface on Slight Tomfoolery. And then
Shout that out, by the way.
yeah, Slight Tomfoolery. It's me and Bagface's show. It's on Bagface's channel, and also there's a playlist in my on my channel too. It's a good show. We chill. And then I'm making an Ahsoka video about her as a character and how Dave Filoni is just like obsessed with his little golden goose there. And then after that it's Blue Beetle or somewhere around there because Ahsoka comes out the 23rd. I don't know.
Blue Beetle's this week.
Yeah, Blue Beetle's this
my
week.
wait, how am I? Okay, I got to reschedule. Yeah, whatever. Videos happening finally, so they will happen.
Nice.
And then I might make I'm debating doing a Wednesday stream talking about Lotus and going in depth about it because it really annoys me. So
you should do it.
Do it, yeah.
Yeah.
I
I invited Uninspired, so
Yeah.
we'll talk about it. Everyone here
good.
is also invited if you guys want to. So
and Uninspired, what are you up to, sir?
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. I am well, yes, no, not before. On Saturday, I had the Uninspired Hour or so, and we covered Tropic Thunder with Copa, Rennie, and Matt Cat. And yeah, it was fun. So that's on my channel for now. Then after that, it's gonna be on the Uninspired Hour or so's live stream re-upload channel, basically, because we have a mutual channel with me and Dark Hour where we just post the re-uploads. So we did it before you guys.
It's a smart move. Smart move, dude.
And yeah, so as far as videos go, I'm trying to release my Barbie video before the end of this week, so before Friday. But if I don't manage to do that, I'm gonna switch directly to Blue Beetle so that I can have that out by Tuesday. And then, as I said before, I'm preparing a big Scream or a franchise retrospective for Halloween, and another TUR's private stash. So it's gonna be Halloween 2023 edition. So my top 10 horror movies for you guys that I feel are underappreciated, so that you can add them to the list. And yeah, that's it for me. And thank you for having me again.
Yeah, man, this horror fan is looking forward to that video too. That's awesome.
Oh, for sure, man. I always like plugging horror that I don't think is appreciated enough.
Vex, and what are you up to?
I'm everywhere and nowhere all at once. I'm at MMM right after this, so you can catch me there. Other than that, I got no more live streams actually the rest of the week. But I will have a Blue Beetle review out this coming Sunday, so you can keep an eye out for that. But other than that, anyone who follows me knows that I share out where I'm going to be on Twitter and on my community page. So, yeah. Thank you for having me again.
Yeah, of course. And Mega Geek, what about you, sir? What are you up to?
Yeah, I'm shooting season 2 of Rebecca Gold, which is a web series on my channel, funnily enough, called Rebecca Gold. I've just found out I've been nominated for Directors Award, would you believe?
Hey, congratulations.
For the 7-minute prologue that's on the channel.
Awesome.
And the
links in the chat, by the way, or in the description.
The girl who plays Rebecca, she's been nominated as well, and
that's
the actual short has been nominated. So at the New Jersey Web Film Festival. So, but the New Jersey Film Festival is really good. It's one of the best out there festivals. So I'm really happy that we've been nominated. So that's quite cool. And I'm actually going to go to it end of September. That's when
I've seen some stuff from that. I haven't gone to it, but I've seen some of the films from there. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's cool.
Ooh,
that's awesome, man. Yeah, congrats.
Yeah, so that's good. So I'm still trying to finish season 2. It's becoming really hard because actors are dropping out and stuff like that, and I'm only working around them because I'm not paying them. So, but hopefully I'll complete it by the end of next year, and then I'll release it, and then you guys can rip it apart like the Spider-Man, Spider-Man Lotus.
It can't be as bad as Lotus. Sorry.
You know, I've seen bits of it. It's much better than Spider-Man Lotus.
Oh, good, thank you. But that's what I'm up to. And if you can, guys, subscribe to the channel and like and watch, because I've got some movies on there. Because I'm a lot older than people think I am, so I've got movies I made in 1998 or stuff like that. So there you go, shot on film, not on digital. So so there you go. Visit the Rebecca Gold channel. There you go.
Yes, link is, well, it's in the chat and it's also in the description. Everyone's links are, but so is Mega Geeks, so you can check out his
Mega Geek is Bad Day still on Netflix?
It still is, yeah. I'm quite surprised it's still on Netflix. So
I have to check it out.
But if you haven't got Netflix and you want to watch it, just give me just send me a message on Twitter and I'll
$15.
No, I'll send you a link to some secret place. But is it called X now, or is it Twitter? Do we still call it Twitter?
X, but everyone calls it
Twitter.
It's
Twitter,
Elon just making the most identifiable app just completely brandless. So
Right,
It's still Twitter.
Okay, Twitter then. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Yeah, of course.
Always a pleasure.
And I have Blue Beetle coming up for a review, and I also have a video essay because it's about time to kind of have a State of the Union address on where the fucking MCU is at right now, which is not in a good place. Those will kind of be back to back. I was supposed to have the script to Bagface today, and I haven't even started it, so it's not happening. But so Blue Beetle first, and then the Marvel video, but those will be out like in succession.
That's bad, isn't it? Because I don't know about you, but the arrangement we have is that he doesn't get fed unless he's working. So
yeah.
Don't worry, he can make his vegan cheese that he talked about on Canola Connection the other day.
Yeah, he'll be all right. He'll be all right. I mean, I can pay him like 50% now, 50% later if he needs to go buy some food.
It's all right.
And Platoon, what are you up to, dude?
It's a race at the moment between Mandalorian Part 2 and Blue Beetle, but owing to computer-related fuckery, it's probably going to be Blue Beetle, which is the next one up. And then Mando Part 2 will follow that. But hopefully there will be something out this coming Monday and then something out the Monday after that. But I'm not sure in which order yet. And otherwise, that's, then everything else proceeds.
And just a reminder too, we are creating a BSUP channel. There are no videos live right now, but you can go to it. It's BSUP YT. So youtube.com/@BSUP YT. And that will be the channel where all of the re-uploads go, finally. So they'll all be in one place for everybody.
We might even branch out and start doing like reacts and movie breakdowns and game stuff. Who knows?
We might. We definitely are, you mean?
Oh, sorry. Yes, we definitely are doing that. Yes.
We absolutely are, because I'm doing it and I'm making you do it with me. So. But yeah, thanks for everyone who stuck it out all the way through the end. Appreciate you. And we will be back next week live on Platoon's channel. And if you missed that, it'll be on the re-upload channel. But just thank our guests one more time. And thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Cheers. My pleasure.
Bye-bye.
And we will see everyone next week. Bye.
Bye.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Bye.